Up the stream is a thing we do, adjusting the audio while we're at it too, setting up the stream. Let's play a song from one of my albums. Here is Deep into Undermountain.
One evening as the sun went down and our cooking coals were glowing, down the path came a party hiking, and they said, folks, we're all going. We're yearning for a portal far away in a tavern full of shouting. So join us, friends, and let's descend deep into Undermountain, deep into Undermountain. There run dungeons hot and cold, where the monsters surge and pushes, and the youngest runes are old, where the mimics all lie waiting, and the goblin werebats roost, all the wisps and wasps and the mezzo-loss, the hidden pit where we'll all plummet deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain, all our blades will sing like choirs, as our arrows strike like drum beats, and our green flame pops and pyres. Our barbarian will stomp a brood as the rogues dance shadow play. Oh, we're sworn to go at a great tempo. We'll chant our spells as we now delve deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain, you'll always find new gear, and your old mundane accoutrement can be handed down, don't fear. The magic items you'll attune and the artifacts you'll find. There's armor with gems and weird potions and a propeller hat that lets you ascend deep into Undermountain. Deep into Undermountain, the mad wizard stood gates so folks can open portals. He left clues to activate. He has a thing for puzzles and he likes to throw his voice. We're going to delve to where he dwells, to the lowest tower, to seek his power deep into Undermountain. I'll see you there, the lowest lair, deep into Undermountain.
The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Lay your head down and dream. 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 Just let your mind flow downstream, sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. Joe Hills is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us! Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And tonight, y'all are my live streaming audience. Welcome, welcome, one and all, to the stream. It's Saturday night, and for the first time in a long time, it's a Saturday where we are not reading Dracula. I know some of y'all absolutely loved Dracula. Some of y'all maybe not so much, but that's okay. Either way, we have concluded the entire novel, Bram Stoker's opus vampire. Oh boy, I feel like there's a joke there. I just couldn't get to it. We'll come back to that. Opus Vampum. There's, oh boy. Anyway, we have finished Dracula. We are Draculus tonight, as Ninf points out. So, anyway, what are we going to do? Well, if you look at Photoshop, you'll see there's a big star on the side of the pinball machine. And if you look at the Elgato... Oh, let's get rid of the setting up stream now text while we're talking. Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to take that down until I remember to mention that this is a viewer-supported stream. I'm not a Twitch partner or affiliate. The best way to support the show financially is to send tips my way. Those are appreciated via PayPal at paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay, so we have this big star that's missing from the side of the machine here. Side of the machine here. It's going to go right here. You see the red spirally thing right there is in frame in Photoshop. And then above that spiral, there's some, like, boring stuff. That part's easy. We can do this part tonight if we really wanted to. Nothing too crazy there. But that star is kind of the big unsolved problem of this side of the machine. Now, I've been thinking about different approaches for this. And because of the way the light fades out at the edges of the star, I think what we want to do is actually bring in coal blocks. Now, I have stockpiled some coal blocks, but there's also a ludicrous quantity of coal just lying around down here. So I'm thinking what we might do is to continue, while we're doing some reading tonight, we're going to take some more coal blocks out from down there. We're also going to break up some of the coal we already have here. Now, we have plenty of empty shulkers to dump stuff into, fortunately. So that's good. We're not going to run out of those for the time being. Okay. So basically, the plan is make coal blocks. Woo! Like that. Like that. Almost like that. Almost exactly like that. But not quite exactly, because, you know, we have to make more than 2. We have to make more than 2. That I'm willing to admit that now. 2 coal blocks will not fuel the furnace of the boiler of the steam engine of my ambition. We're going to need more coal blocks than that. So, this is a start here, but it is not all of them. Let's see. So, we got the good fortunes with Scar Pickaxe here. That's good. I kind of want to get the Silk Touch one, too. We want to make sure that our beacons are all set to haste, that we're going to be digging near as well. So, that's something to keep an eye on also. Let's go ahead and get these out here. Let's see. Do we have our Diamond Silk Touch pick? There it is. Unbreaking 3, efficiency 4. Here's our efficiency 5 one. Okay. So, what we might want to do is start by repairing our Silk Touch pick by breaking the coal we've already got with our fortune pick. Yay. I guess it doesn't really matter if we use the Silk Touch or the fortune on these. I can just Silk Touch everything, or fortune everything. It's fine. We'll be fine. Could I potentially have the PayPal link written out in the overlay? No, I don't want people to accidentally mistype it, like in case of typo squatting. I'd rather just post the link occasionally. Okay, so we're up to 11. Woo! That's a good start. 11 blocks. I figure to get this star done, we're realistically going to need something like... So it's hard to see, but there's these like gray streaks coming out at the edges of the beam, that at the edges of each of the points of the star, that really sell the idea of the lens flare. And so I figure maybe a stack or 2, because this is gonna be a recurring thing. We're gonna have some other places we're gonna want to use the black charcoal on this project. So for right now, we're just gonna put all of our finished blocks of coal in here. Oh, I had some coal over there. That's fine. We'll come back to that. Salem says kind of a basalt color. No, the thing is that we need it to be almost... I've been saving this. I've been saving the idea of using coal blocks for these light streaks. That's one of the reasons that they're not appearing anywhere else in here, even where color-wise they might make sense. I think that's going to add a lot. But yeah, basalt and deep slate are too textured for what we're doing here. So, can I put the camera count facing straight down as you drone from coal vein to coal vein? Great question. Yeah, let's actually go ahead and turn off these. Actually, yeah. And then we'll bring the camera account around and... Ooh. Let's bring that up and over. I guess I could just teleport to myself. That makes more sense. And I figure what we'll do is we'll set this up like over here so you can watch my progress. Because, yeah, I can run from coal vein to coal vein on the surface, but realistically, where we're going to be doing most of this is going to be down in the... we're just going to be mining this whole thing out, basically. Because that's something we needed to work on anyway. So, like, but for example, there is a nice little coal vein right here. I'll name it Kurt. Because it's a briefly rude coal vein. Oh, actually, it's more extensive than I thought. Okay. So, hey, there's some coal already. Hey, then we got some, like, right on the wall here. That's fine. We needed... Okay, cool. So this part up here, I should actually probably just straight up come up here and just start mining this out. Whoops. Yeah, that's a good way to do this. Dang it. Okay, I might not have thought this all the way through, but I never think anything all the way through. So, who's surprised there? Okay. Whoops. I feel like this is still not mining very quickly. Is that because we got haste too? Should probably have some torches here, just so mobs aren't spawning. Yeah, not Kurt cul-de-sac. That would be like a French dead end or something. Okay. So let's go ahead. We are going to need more birch as we bring these walls down on the inside too. Every part of this we're going to need more materials for. Dang it. And I did not stick the landing there. That's okay. Or it's just don't insta-mine. Oh, yeah, so I'm probably just feeling like things are sluggish because I'm... Yeah, once I start working on these, everything's fine. Yeah, you're right, you're right. Welcome, introverted kid. Glad you could join us. Boy. Welcome, Triforce. Okay, oh. And, you know, this is a great example of a place to have my trident, also. But whatever, it's fine. Although with a trident, technically, it's tines, because there's tines on the trident. Never mind, it's fine. Okay. So, big old patch of coal right here. Gonna mine it out right away. We'll come back for the rest of this later on today. Welcome, Sam and Mac. Glad you could join us. Okay. So yeah, this part having an overhang here is just kind of weird. Let's just take care of that real quick while we're in process. I figure if I spend about 2 hours a week working on this, and then during the Saturday night reading streams, and then occasionally we have this as a fallback for HHH, this will get done well ahead of when we actually need to start putting the components in. Okay, let's climb over there and take those out. His Greatness says, are we doing a story tonight? We're not going to be doing just one story. We're not going to be starting a new novel tonight. What we are going to be doing is we're going to be reading some shorter works and just kind of seeing where things go. It used to be that Saturday night was when I would do songs and poems, and then we kind of extended that into reading an entire novel. But that doesn't mean... So we're going to kind of take a break from long-form stuff and just do some shorter stuff tonight, and probably for the next few weeks. While I continue to pin down what exactly I want to read next that's more long-form. And I feel like doing a fun kind of sample or survey of different things will not only give us a chance to get a little bit of breathing room before the next long-form work, but also kind of give us a chance to kind of see what works and what doesn't, what folks enjoy. You know, because Dracula, I think, was a particularly good choice. And even as a particularly good choice, it was not a perfect book. There were some people that did not choose to stick around who would normally have watched the Saturday streams. So I want to make sure that I don't just immediately go, well, let me find another 27-chapter novel. That's what we're doing now. You know, that's... Brian the Potato says, why do you put the date in the title? Oh, so that way people can find the VOD later who want to find it. I'm not going to put the date in the title after I'm done. That's when I go to sleep. But yeah, otherwise, like, the streams get really hard to find in the playlist if they're all called just HermitCraft Live or whatever. Elijah says, I absolutely love that you put the date in the title, Joe. I enjoy VODs, and it really does help. Well, thank you, Elijah, for the feedback. Okay. So now that we've taken care of most of that roof part that we had dealing with that overhang there. We didn't get that part of the overhang, apparently. Hey, Danya. I'm going to put you in timeout so you have a chance to read the rules. Doing weird stuff with caps makes it hard for me to read the chat, so please don't do that. I am the only moderator here tonight, and so I would prefer to keep my job as easy as possible, especially if I'm also going to be reading poems and stories out loud. It makes it really hard to read the chat if folks are, like, all doing weird stuff with caps and stuff. Okay, so we're basically full on blocks right now. So we're going to run up here to one of our chests. Just dump in everything that is not coal into these. Actually, let's go ahead and designate, like, specialty chests for the ores, I guess, or something. Like, if I start pre-sorting this stuff, that's going to make everything easier later on. Okay. So let's say that this blue one here is where all the non-coal ores are going to go. So when we turn these into blocks, and those into blocks, and these into blocks, and those into blocks, coal can go in here, and then we'll drop the concrete powder there for right now. Have I heard of the Trans-Alabama saga? No, I have not. Okay. Did my Twitch chat freeze, or have we just not gotten any questions since His Greatness 5 minutes ago? Looks like His Greatness was just the last person. That's fine. Okay. Just making sure. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a diamond block from XP Crafted. We'll come back to that later. So if we go down Looks like it's starting to get dark. Devin Krates says, quiet, Chad, is quiet. Quiet thing! You make my heart sing! You make everything groovy. Hey, welcome, Stephanie Hall. Oh, Stephanie, I don't know if you saw my note in general. Sorry, I misread your question last night. I thought you were asking a follow-up about something with the escape games that I had just explained. And so I re-explained it louder and more emphatically. I was not mad at you. I just, even if I had understood your question properly, or even if you had actually asked what I misread it as, I wouldn't have been mad. But yeah, I thought you were just repeating somebody else's question, and you absolutely weren't. I was exhausted and misread it, so that was my bad. Okay, so here we go. Removing blocks. Oh wow, there's no speed boost or whatever here. Yeah, let's go back where the speed is. Haste! Because we can move the, oh wait, there's a bunch of... This is what we actually need for our build, is the coal. We're removing a bunch of this because we're going to have to remove all these blocks anyway, long term. But the coal is what we actually need for the next thing. Stephanie Hall writes, no worries, lol. Yeah, thank you for being understanding. Sorry, I was so wiped out last night. I didn't realize how tired I was. Because I was like, oh boy, I've been working on this stuff all day. But now I get to go have fun streaming, and then immediately Photoshop breaks and the Elgato break, and my soul just left my body. I was like, no, this was gonna be my fun time. But like, yeah, so I was definitely struggling. Thank you for being understanding. But we did a tech check stream today during the afternoon. Thanks to everybody who came out for that. I don't know if y'all noticed, but we're now streaming at 1440p, and I've got it set up to record at 1440p. We did some tests about what would or wouldn't work with even going up to 4K. Right now, we're kind of capped by the quality on Twitch's end, but, hey, Scar's here. Howdy, Scar! Because Twitch caps us at 6,000 kilobits a second of ingest. YouTube doesn't. So I'm probably going to do a YouTube-only 4K streaming experiment at some point. Not today, though. We do have our Groundhog Day Patreon build contest tomorrow. That is at... Let me double check the time. That is at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time tomorrow. I'll be streaming the Patreon Groundhog Day Parade Float Build Contest hosted by Kindleus of Team Redstone. So thank you, Kindleus, for hosting that. Welcome, Comeded. Glad you could join us. Raids are fun. Says, hi, how are you doing? I'm doing well. And good. No, I'm just doing well. I'm playing Minecraft. Okay. I wonder how far over this is a consistent elevation. Because that would actually really help me. Okay. This is 100% consistent all the way to the end. It's really only this rise here that's even higher. Okay. Okay, so let's see. If we remove this rise then, we can actually roll through and start just knocking the whole thing out. Let's do that. Oh boy. Let's do that. As I'm working on this, like the little tumblers are just clicking into place. I'm a very iterative worker. I like to just start on something and look for or look for opportunities for improvement that just kind of emerge naturally from the experience. And that is definitely happening here. I feel like I've got a plan slowly coming together. It might look like I'm just goofing off removing blocks, but that's step one. That is actually what I'm doing. You're not wrong. But I'm moving blocks toward a purpose. Wait. That one's supposed to be the one that all the special blocks went in. Where did I put all the special blocks instead? Oh, I put them all in here by accident. Okay, I was going to put them all in the blue one, so it'd be easier to find them later. Okay, yeah, next problem, next problem. La-da-da-da. Do-do-do-do. And let's put these surplus torches in here. We're going to get a lot of surplus torches out of this. Kingu says, can I suggest lighting a fire with that flint you have, then throwing all that flint into the fire? Maybe that would be something fun to do at the end? Because we're going to have even more flint by the time we're finished with this. So it's like, we'll have our flint stones bonfire? I don't know. That's not really a flintstone. I don't know where I'm going with this. How far until I'm out of range of the beacon is one of the questions. I gotta be careful not to punch into where the water all is, because that is full of water there. Okay, now we are out of range of the beacon for sure. So let's head back this way. We're going to grab these materials. Still not... Okay, beacon range starts here. Let's go ahead and mark this with some torches, so that way we know that's where the line is. And that's definitely... We have elevation clearance to go all the way up to the next level there. Perfect. Okay, so shovel out. Definitely not a fortune shovel, as you can see. Wouldn't want any of those in here. Now we're gonna have to get back across that line before the fortune wears off, because yeah, or haste 3. Wow, that lasts 13 seconds. That's better than I thought it was. Okay, so then we come back over here. How long did 16 seconds? Wow, okay. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Now, when we get to the ores, it's a little bit slower than Instamine, but for this stuff, it's just cutting through butter with a warm blade. Ores slower. Ah. And then there's our haste wearing off. Okay, we are coming up on the half-hour mark. Just as a reminder, we are currently $20 away from our next face camera expansion milestone, which you can see on this abacus here. Wait, oh, hold on. That was backwards. Ugh, there we go. $20 away. See, I had to have the curve toward my face so I could put it on my chin if I need. Okay. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. I'm down here in the lower left at the moment. We got one $20 tip during our testing stream earlier. Okay. Maybe the haste beacon goes, because it's circular, it goes further over here. I don't know. Seems like in some ways it's more efficient to just keep one tool on, exhaust it fully, and then switch to the next, but we do need to be poking sun screen holes, or whatever call it, skylights here. Grace Winder says, I thought beacons were square. I'm pretty sure they're cylinders, or... I think there's cylinders on top and hemispheres on the bottom. Like below them, they're like a hemisphere, like a half globe. I think. Centauratron says I'm correct, so I believe it. Beacon range in the mini hut is square. That might be an estimate. It might be that the mini hut guys don't know how to make a circle because Minecraft is made of squares primarily. So they're just like, we'll estimate it. Wikipedia says a square column. Interesting. Is it... I think the sun's going down up there. So we're going to grab what blocks we can off the ground here and hop back up. Lay our heads down and dream and dump off our blocks. Gusty Gale says, gonna do my hair up and dress in a kitsch cyberpunk style. It'll be rad. Well, that sounds awesome. Grace Winder says, apparently it does have a max height of 400-ish. Oh, interesting. So it doesn't actually go forever. But it effectively goes... Like, if you were elytraing up, you know, you wouldn't necessarily max it out. Or you could fly above it. Interesting. Okay. You know, gravel is actually something that we do need to be collecting for more concrete. So I'm going to put the gravel in with these other blocks too. Wow, we didn't get any coal at all on that pass. I mean, we're still clearing a lot out. Yeah, I don't know what I want to do with my hair long term, but I know that the more of it I have before I do make a decision, the more options I will have. So I'm just continuing to let it grow out indefinitely. But, I mean, I'm saving so much money on haircuts. I probably used to spend, I don't know, a few $100s a year on haircuts. Is that, because, like, okay, if you're tipping a minimum of $5 and you're getting your hair cut, maybe not hundreds of dollars, but, like, yeah, well, I mean, maybe, because, like, in the city, like, a nice haircut, like a decent haircut, might be $45. I don't know. If I was getting my haircut 4 times a year with tips, yeah, I guess that's like $200. I don't know. Izzy Abel says it depends where you get it cut too. Yeah, there used to be like an old school barber shop that I would go to that was a lot cheaper, but apparently they couldn't afford the rent, so they should have increased the prices. But yeah, I would usually end up going to places which were like within walking distance of where I worked, but that would usually mean that they were going to be pricey because they're in like expensive areas. But with when my kid was little, especially, I couldn't take her to go get a haircut with me. So I would have to go, like, on my lunch break. And there wasn't time to, like, drive somewhere. Because, like, because the parking lot where I worked was, like, 3 or 4 blocks away. So it's, like, spend 10 minutes walking to the car. Each way, yeah. No good. Welcome, Sweet Shenanigans. I'd have to walk past barbershops to get to my car. It was not worth it. Can that really be what haircuts cost? Maybe I'm misremembering. It's been like 3 years since I got a haircut, I think. So maybe I'm misremembering, but it feels like that was probably about right. Maybe $35 to $45 depending on the place plus tip. It's been so long, I don't even know. Okay. Tabra says, old school barbershops have become very popular in my neighboring city. They're popping up very, like, all over. Well, the place that I used to go to, like, when I was in college, wasn't, like, a new hipster barbershop. making fun of old school barbershops. It was just like straight up like the same guy had owned it for 50, 60 years, and he was ancient and had some younger guys working there too. Like it was legitimately like an old school, like it was not a modern establishment. They didn't take credit cards. It was very old, but yeah. Okay, so this gravel is going to be suffocating me if I'm not taking care of that up front. So let's deal with that. Okay, so we're hitting our limit on the blocks there. But either way, I'm saving a lot of money by not getting my hair cut. And so I'm just going to probably keep doing that. I mean, I might go in like I guess like before the wedding, if there's a I don't know that there would be a lot of demand from my betrothed for me to cut my hair, but I might go in and say, "Hey, can you clean it up a little bit? Like, you know, shave the back of my neck and maybe even it out a little bit." Like, but I'm not going to probably get it like restyled or anything. But just like, "Oh, it'd be nice if I had like if it just looked a little bit neater." I might do some sort of trim or something for the wedding, but like other than that, I don't anticipate getting my hair cut anytime soon. Yeah, I'd have to go get a Silk Touch book though. Like that's its own whole thing. Like we're already here. I've got a lot. I've got several items I need Silk Touch on. I don't have a Silk Touch axe. I don't have a Silk Touch shovel. And these are things I need to go get, but I just like I'm always busy doing something else at the time. So it's never quite the priority. Dave USPS says, probably a good idea to smarten up the split ends if you're growing it out. Yeah, that's what I figure is like just, you know, having a professional tidy it up before the wedding would be smart. Ooh. Dang it, am I out of range of the beacon? I was... Okay. There was time now. "16 seconds till we gotta get back in the beacon range." And there it is. Drew Baca says, I don't think I've had a professional cut in 20 years. Oh, wait, except for my wedding, too. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is like, as Ryan, a.k.a. Unlimited Creativity, points out, yeah, that's a fair investment for a wedding. Like, do I have any cool honeymoon plans? Not yet. We don't know what... So we can't get married until the government approves the visa. The fiance visa, and so we don't know what time of year the wedding will be, because once they do approve the visa, we have 90 days to actually get married, or we have to restart the whole process. So depending on what season they approve the visa in, we might make different wedding plans, right? So there's some times of the year that going to the Great Lakes would be beautiful, other times terrible Florida could be very, very nice or very, very hot. We're going to have to do it somewhere in the U.S. because of the way the visa thing works. It's going to take some time for the green card to be processed after that. So my fiance wouldn't be able to leave and re-enter the United States very easily. So wherever we go for the honeymoon, it's going to be somewhere in the U.S. And from a financial standpoint, probably somewhere in the continental U.S. Oh, Badger says, no, we have 6 months for me to enter the country and then 90 days for us to be married. Oh, okay. It's only when you enter the country that the 90-day clock starts. That's not as bad as I thought. That actually gives us more breathing room. Okay. Okay, so let's get more. We got our haste beacon going here. Realistically, though, I'm not going to want to wait 6 months for you to enter the country and then another 3 months to get married. Once it's approved, I'm going to be like, let's go. Badger says, you just didn't want to hear the 6 months thing because of the not seeing each other for another 6 months. That's exactly it. Apparently, I just didn't internalize that as an option because I was like, ah. It's already been, like, let's see, when did you leave? It's been too long already. You left, like, shortly after Halloween, and it's January now. It's too long. Luckily, I'm going to be getting over to London this spring, but, yeah. Okay, let's lay our heads down and dream. Okay, so we're gonna, while we're up here anyway, we might as well dump some of these blocks. Just kind of tidying up. Come on, why is that not going? Oh, because it was an empty. Well, that'll do it. Okay. Did I dump the gravel by mistake? Yeah. Okay. So we are making progress. I don't know how. So with the 1440p, I don't know if the little camera is a little bit. I guess technically the small camera has the same number of pixels it did before because I didn't start making it bigger. Did I check the Department of State website to see if they've started processing the passports yet? I don't. The thing is, that's like looking at the tracking info on a package. Like, once once I know it's gonna be here soon, I'll start paying attention to it. But if I start looking at it now, I'll be checking it every 20 minutes. Like, and it'll still be like 3 months away, right? Like, there's nothing I can do to help at this point. If it started processing, it started processing. If it hasn't started processing, it hasn't started processing. But I'm gonna agonize over it either way if I start looking at it. I just, you know, I watched them mail it. I paid the money. I'm just not gonna worry about it, like, for right now. I'll check on it in a few weeks when you know, because, like, at this point, yeah. I'm just gonna be upsetting myself if I look at it and it's like it's not processing. Why isn't it processing? Well, that's just how long it takes. But is it? I get super hung up about stuff like this. I'm just better off not thinking of it. Ryan says, my boss was married in England, and I believe her marriage certificate has her profession listed as spinster. Do professions go on marriage certificates in England? Welcome, Jay Carmichael. Glad you could join us. I am currently playing on the HermitCraft server indeed. Yes, Hermit Hills Joe. That's me. Okay. Comedian says, I'm bidding on a house in Final Fantasy And I'm resisting checking on how much competition I have. Yeah, at a certain point, it's like if you've already bid all you can bid, you just stop looking. Just wait and see how it goes. They go out a lot of them in the U.S. as well. I don't think that's the case in Tennessee. But that's interesting. Good to know. Professions of parents go on birth certificates too. Really? Huh. That's interesting. I guess a lot of times profession was like the equivalent of a last name. You'd be like John Carpenter, or I guess Hill isn't a profession. I was gonna say Benny Hill, but I don't think his parents were professional Hillses. I'm trying to be a professional Hills. If you'd like to support me making this appear slightly professional, tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Because right now, any judge looking at this would go, wow, Joe, you really look like an amateur streamer there. You've been going for 75 minutes and you've made zero money. So, yeah, help me not look like I have committed perjury while claiming that my job is professional entertainer. J. Carmichael writes, follow age. I don't know what that means, but yeah. Nolzil says, Joe, has the ocean been drained below the pinball machine? Other than some water in some tunnels deep below, there's like an underwater ravine here we found that I got to go back through and do. We've actually taken care of all of the other water. Now I'm just in the process of mining out the blocks. Just having kind of a chill stream, partially because I need to gather a bunch of coal to continue working on my mural on the side of the pinball machine. And there's a lot of coal in this part of the, at these Y levels, right? So we might as well just, you know, gather all that. Whoops, uh-oh. That's no good. Looks like we might need to, go drop some of these blocks off. Yep, we finished draining all the water a few weeks back, and we started on the side of the machine, but I need some coal blocks for where the lens flares are. I think that's going to look real good. So, blocks of coal here. Storing the coal that we find as we go in those. Storing other interesting things in there, but not cobble. Cobble, andesite. All that stuff's going in. These random chests. This isn't a chest monster. This is actually, like, where I'm storing the blocks to move them and sort them later. So, hey, speaking of tips, we just got one rolling in from Chad for 20 who says, Expand Joe. So here we go. Let's get that on the board. Thank you so much, Chad. Here we go. It is indeed time to say, Expand Joe. Do. I look a little bit paler than usual. The lighting is kind of off. Part of the studio reorganization is that the light is further out. And I've been trying to tweak the settings on the camera, and I just haven't gotten them perfectly where I want them. But yeah, let's go back and grab the rest of that coal that we already started digging, because some of that was still like lying in the pit. Yeah, down here. And we're also fixing our mending pick while we do this. Hey, do we get experience from lapis? We do. Nice. What about from copper? No. Boo. Boo the copper. Oh, we did need gravel, though. So we'll grab that, too, while we're here. Clementine says, Joe, glad to catch your stream. Just got home from a big speech meet. Well, I hope your speech was well met there, Clementine. Hope you had a fun time. I don't know, like, I've never really been like in a speech club or anything like that in school, because a lot of those things you had to like drive to competitions, and my parents had too many kids to like do that. They were like, you can't be in all these activities because we can't get you to them. There's too many children for that. So yeah, I never really did anything like that when I was a kid. We were in scouts, but the thing about scouts was you could basically put all of your kids in scouts and then take them all to the same place. Like, it had a pretty broad age range. So it's like, you want to be in an activity, you can be in scouts, like your older brother or like your younger brother. Everybody gets to do scouts and nothing else. You want to be in band? Too bad. All lures give experience, including copper. Interesting. I don't know. Clementine says, it was quite fun, and I did better than expected. Well, hey, congrats, Clementine. And good luck, Rhiannon, with your job interview tomorrow. Hope that it goes well. Hope you find that the place is a good fit for you, and that you're a good fit for them. Copper and iron ore only give experience when you smelt them. Ah, that's what I thought. Okay. But because you can't smelt lapis, it just gives you the experience. Same thing with coal. I mean, you can cook coal, but like more like you're cooking with it, I guess. It goes in the furnace there. Yeah, so the copper, though, no dice. Okay. Hey, there's some more coal. So we are making progress on our mural while also cleaning up over here. Welcome, Coyote Lovely. Hope you had a fantastic day today. And the sun's getting real low. So we'll go ahead here and lay our heads down and dream. Whoops, or not. We'll just fall. Not to our death or anything, but still dramatically. And in an amusing manner. Lay our head down and dream. Take a sip. My day was pretty good. Thank you, Coyote Lovely. We had a fantastic test stream earlier. We're actually now streaming at 1440p, which is also known as 2K. It's half of the 4K, basically. Which, you know, is relatively, yeah. So you get it. But anyway, so that's going to make the galaxies look way cooler on the mural. One of the things I noticed when I was experimenting with the setup the other day was that this looks so good in high definition. I say this, but like, let me go out here and show you. Especially since like so many people now have phones, even your phones and tablets have 4K monitors in them, right? So it's like if somebody's watching this on an iPad, it'd be cool if they could see it in 4K. I couldn't figure out how to get 4K recording working without completely killing Twitch. I think I could stream to YouTube in 4K, but not Twitch, because Twitch has a lower bandwidth cap, which is frustrating. But I don't want to stop streaming on Twitch entirely. At the same time, though, if I want to start recording in 4K, like, it'd be... I mean, I guess I could get a separate computer to do the downsampling for the Twitch stream, but it ends up being a whole thing. It ends up being a whole thing. And I don't want to only do my recordings off stream because I have so much fun. Kingdu says 4K streams on YouTube will require premium. Even so, though, like, I can't send a 4K stream to Twitch and have them downsample it. Whereas YouTube would accept the 4K data I'm sending and then transcode it for everybody else. So even the people without premium would still be able to watch the 1440 or the 1080. Like Twitch, I can't even send it 4K at all. Salem tips 10 and says, yay for high-def Galaxy pixel art. So thank you, Salem. That gets us halfway to our next face camera expansion milestone. Kingu says, will your restreamer downcode for you? It will, but it is expensive. So let's see. Let's pull up the restream.io transcoding pricing. Multi-streaming. Where's the pricing here? Pricing. Transcoding is like an add-on for... So I'm currently on the professional level, I think. But I have to pay extra for transcoding by the hour. And paying by the hour for anything on streaming, like, is... Where is the pricing on the... Did they remove this? Okay, this is going to drive me nuts, because this used to be very obviously on their site, and now it's not anywhere. Products. Okay. Let me check on my phone from the panel here. It used to have like a big thing that was like buy transcoding credits. Maybe they don't even offer transcoding anymore. That seems unlikely, because that was a big part of their pricing setup. Maybe it's because I'm live? I can't... It seems like unlikely. Billing. There's my plan. Where do I buy credits? Yeah, Professional Plus is what I'm on now. So I was buying transcoding credits to transcode for Twitter. But it looks like... Oh, here it is. Buy hours. Okay. So transcoding is $2 an hour, basically. Which is not... Yeah... I feel like that's going to make me want to cut streams shorter. Just like knowing that it's costing me more than zero, though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have that meter running in my head. But maybe, yeah, you know, that's probably worth it. That's probably worth it. And I do have 5 hours of transcoding credits left over from the last time I bought them. So that's enough to test it out. That $2 an hour, or that $2 an hour is cheaper than it used to be, though. It used to be more expensive. I think it used to be like closer to $5 an hour. So $2 an hour feels a lot saner. But how many hours a year do I stream? Okay, so let's see. Most weeks. Okay, let's look at this real quick. So most weeks I stream 5 nights a week. Why is this not showing up? Is that not showing up? Oh, no, it's just hard to see. Okay, so if I'm usually streaming 5 nights a week for 2 hours, that's at least 10 right there. Then I usually stream Wednesday morning, Thursday morning, and Friday morning. I'm going to stream for at least 2 hours. So that's 3 weekday mornings times 2, that's another 6. And then I'm going to stream often on weekends, probably on average. Let's say I stream an extra 2 hours a weekend, so in the morning or afternoon for like random events. So that's every week on average is about 18 hours times 52. Let's just round that to 20 times 50. So that's $1,000 worth of transcoding a year. Like, realistically, that would come out to more than 1% of my entire income. So that's Stephanie Hall says, oh, wait. No, that's just the number of hours. No. So then we actually double it. No, we figure out the number of hours. So 1,000 times 2 equals 2,000. Okay. So that's probably 2 to 3% of my entire income for the year would go into transcoding at that point. Which is a lot. $2,000 is a lot of money for me still at this point. A year. I mean, that's like, you know, if I spent $2,000 a year on a new camera or new audio, like there's a lot of stuff that could pay for. You know what I mean? Boy. So, in some ways, for $2,000, I'd rather invest that in a new desktop and then dual stream from the second desktop, right? At that point, if I bought, let's say that I went all out and bought a $4,000 desktop. In 2 years, that would pay for itself in transcoding by dual boxing. So, yeah. So a lot of stuff like that is Gusty Gale says, remember all the editing that goes into it. I'm only talking about streaming though. Michael Lapisana says, I assume you don't need to transcode for all streams, only certain ones. Here's 7 hours to get you up to 12 to test with. And they're tipping 14. So that is going to get us 4 past our next face camera expansion milestone. Thank you, Michael. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Expand Joe. Okay, so yeah, the thing is, so Coyote Lovely says, I'm assuming transcoding wouldn't get you any extra profit either. Well, it would make the videos look way better on YouTube, which might end up with me getting more viewers in the long term. Like, if I could show off this pinball machine in 4K, it would, like, the amount of detail that's going into the paint job on this machine would end up looking way better. So you can get an Intel $200 card to encode directly to AV2 for Twitch. Centauratron says, I wouldn't mind changing to watching to Twitch or watching to YouTube. The thing is, I would only actually need to stream at 4K when I'm trying to record at 4K. Toxic says, I would assume Joe is very tired right now. You're not wrong. I am exhausted. Kingu says, ad revenue on 4K videos is greater. Well, the thing is, like, I make most months, like, between... YouTube at one point says you're not supposed to share exact numbers, but my ad revenue is usually between $200 and $500 a month on YouTube. So even if the ad revenue went up by 25%, that would be $50 to like $125 more a month. That wouldn't I just don't make enough. I don't have enough viewers on my YouTube channel to make good ad revenue. Hunter Colony says, I don't think anyone would refuse to watch because the Minecraft video is 2K instead of 4K. Exactly. I don't think anybody's going to refuse to watch, but I do think at the point where I'm at the point where I'm doing work, like this pinball machine, like I'm realizing how good this is working. Where Lunar says, your PCI bus was already struggling, right? Yeah, well, that's the thing is, no, we're talking about getting that AV1 card in a second desktop. That would not go in this desktop. But yeah, like at the point where I'm doing work like this that would really benefit from the 4K thing, you know, it would help me. Like, I feel like I've really upped my game professionally in terms of the quality of my builds and what I'm like the way I'm making my episodes, but it doesn't necessarily look as good as it could look. Coyote Lovely says maybe it's worth a field test. Well, that's like that's what we're saying is like I could do a 4K I could do a field test tomorrow during I don't know if I want to do it during the Groundhog Day parade, but like that's actually not a bad choice for it because everybody's builds would then like the VOD would be in 4K on YouTube and the testing we did earlier, 4K on YouTube would work. So the only thing is if the transcoding dies in the middle of the stream, then people can't watch that particular stream on Twitch. But like, hopefully, I mean, I've used transcoding on Restream before and it was fine. So it doesn't seem like too bold an experiment. I don't know. Bucket says, what day is Groundhog Day? It's Groundhog Day. Okay. So, you know, the thing is, too, like, in the long term, I feel like some of the viewers... And I don't have any data on this. I don't have any data on what viewers are watching at 4K and what viewers aren't. But my guess would be, like, you know, people started talking a lot during the... when I did the animations. When I did the animations for the card game about how like they're watching on a huge TV and some of the effects weren't good. And I didn't realize that it didn't occur to me that anybody watched my show on a big TV. I've literally never edited or designed any part of my show around that. And so making sure that I'm future-proofing for that is going to be a sound investment long term. Because, like, people who watch the show with their family, like, do send me nice tips and say, hey, I watched the show with my family, thanks. And I don't know if those are the same people that bought the biggest, latest TVs, but let's say that they get a big TV next month or at Christmas next year or something. Long term, it would be good to make sure that I'm reinvesting the money folks are sending me into making sure that the best experience possible is out there. Hey, Kyle Valier, tipping 50, says just got paid. Wanted to give some to an amazing person and to grow that show. Thank you, Kyle Valier. Let's see. 6 is going to get, 16 gets you a first Face Gamer expansion. 26 gets you the second. 46 gets you a third. And then we are 4 past that one. So here we go. Let's open up OBS here and expand Joe. Do. And then for that next Face Camera expansion milestone, where's my chains? Oh, dang it. Since I was rearranging stuff, I moved the chains out of the way. For this next Face Camera expansion milestone. Oh boy, this is not a good way to do this. Y'all have seen the money go straight to my head. With each Face Camera expansion milestone we hit. But now, like Jacob Marley, these chains I forged in life are about to begin pulling me down to the deep below. Enter the joust. Bum, 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 bum. Oh no, you can see the extra chair. I'm gonna lay that flat on the floor. Lowering the opacity now to 90%. Thank you very much, Kyle Valier, for those first 2 face camera expansions. But we've got one more to go. Wait, is that right? Yeah, we got one more to go. Is that? Yeah, that's how the math worked out. Expand Jost. Do. Lowering the opacity now to 80%. And so that puts us then, 16 away from the next face camera expansion. So yeah, we were 6 away from that one. I don't know. I think the math works out. I am really tired. If I gave that out $10 early, then either way, consider that a longéop. Is that a French word for appreciative gift? Yeah. But Kyle says, just got paid, wanted to give some to an amazing person and grow that show. Well, thank you for supporting the arts and my show in particular, Kyle. Cavman says, I do all my computer stuff on a big 50-inch TV, including watching this. Salem says, my roommates and I always watch Joe and HermitCraft videos on the TV together. Nightly Minecraft time. Kyle says, your pick's about to break. Ooh, good call. Good call. We actually probably should do a hydration break because we are at the hour mark. Borealis Laura says, I definitely watch all your streams on bigger streams with the Chromecast. I never felt the resolution was unacceptable. Comeded says, you should go with fewer pixels straight out of GeoCities animations. That's also an option. We could just do this show at 128 let's just do this at 120p. Okay. Let's go ahead and get down to the spider farm. Where is the spider farm? It's somewhere over here. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Brian Mackle says, I only speak for myself, Joe, but it wouldn't bother me a bit if you stop going mid-roll ad-free to put more money in your pocket. That would make me an extra maybe $70 to like $300 a month. It wouldn't be worth it, Brian. I personally want to go I would love to go entirely ad-free on everything, but YouTube won't recommend videos that have no ads at the same rate as videos that do, because they want to make money. So in order to stay in the algorithm, I have to have some ads, even if it's just the post-roll ad. But no, I hate the idea of ads wasting y'all's time. Y'all are so amazing. The last thing I want is for you to have more annoyances in your life. And if I have to give up a few $100s a month to do it, it's worth it. Putting mid-roll ads in the HermitCraft videos is not how I want to make my living. Because that just makes you more dependent on the YouTube algorithm in general. You know, I'm very lucky that I can depend on y'all direct support via PayPal and YouTube Super Chat and Patreon. So anyway, I was gonna AFK here while I refill my drink. We're gonna do a hydration break sign. Let these spiders add up. Hydration break. BRB. Do. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know what ads they're putting on the videos. Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, Kingu says I did short myself $10 on the abacus. You know what? It's fine. Kyle Valier is a longtime supporter of the show. I'm happy to just 10 extra abacus beads for that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and see who we need to thank here. Okay. I don't actually need an 8-minute break, but Magenta Avocado requested What's Left of Sam McGee. And so we'll go ahead and put that on. I say that. I should probably go check and make sure there's nothing in the dryer or the laundry or whatever. So anyway, I will be back and probably just start digging again in less than 8 minutes. But this is an 8-minute song, so BRB. Thank you again.
Strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have the secret sails that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen strange sights, but the strangest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Laborde. I cremated Sam McGee. Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the South to roam, and the poor God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell. Though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On a Christmas day, we were marching our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold through the Parker's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes we'd closed and the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and our dogs were fed and the stars o'erhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me and cat says he, I'll cash in this trip I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request. Well, it seemed so low that I couldn't say no. Then he says with a sort of moan, it's a cursed cold and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet tank being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair you'll cremate my last remains. A pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail. And we started on at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. Hey! There wasn't a breath in that land of death. Then I
Hurried, horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh and it seemed to say, "Will you tax your bronze and rings
but you promised true, and it's up to you
to cremate these last remains?"
Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I curse that load. In the long, long night, by the low firelight, while the huskies round in a ring,
Held out their woes to the homeless knows, oh God, how I loathe the thing. The thing!
and every day that quiet place seemed to heavy and heavier grow. And on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and I hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake Lebarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice and I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May.
Hooray!
And I looked at it and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then
Here said I with a sudden cry is my crematorium. Also, thanks to Kyle for the additional 20, who says to all the awesome people in chat, woo! Let's go ahead and get that on there and expand Jost. Thank you, Kyle Valier, woo! Lowering the Joe Pasty now to 70%.
sizzle, soul, and the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke, and an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear. But the stars came out and they danced about here again. I mentioned near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked and it's time I looked and the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile, you could see a mile, and he said, please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold.
The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen strange sights, but the strangest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam McGee. So thank you again to Magenta Avocado for selecting the cremation of Sam McGee as today's hydration break song. Let's go ahead and erase that. Thank you very much as well to Kyle Valier for that 20 that came in, and we did that face camera expansion. If you didn't hear me during the song, I was saying that Kyle explicitly said to the awesome people in chat. Mango Fighter says, who's the artist? That's from our album Sean Hills Sings Joe Hills Volume 1, I think. Performed by the artist formerly known as Sean Hills, now going by Quinn Hills, and streaming at twitch.tv/redactedhills. So yeah, I'm very happy with how that turned out. That was kind of a weird experiment I had. So most of the stuff on that album is stuff that I wrote, but the cremation of Sam McGee was a pre-existing poem. But I was listening to it one time, and I was like, you know, I think you could do this to the tune of, like, Flogging Molly or something. Is that a thing? Could we take old public domain poems and use them to the tune of modern music? And technically it's not parody because it's not parody lyrics. So we do have to pay the what do you call those, composition rights, the mechanical rights to the people. So when you play that on Spotify or YouTube or whatever, they're getting a cut, don't worry. Have I read Rime of the Ancient Mariner? My friend is obsessed with it for some reason, says Clam Meditation. Oh boy, I don't know. Rime of the Ancient Mariner, Project Gutenberg, HTML. Okay. Part the first. It is an ancient mariner, and he stoppeth one of three. By thy long grey beard and glittering eye, now wherefore stoppest me? The bridegroom's doors are open wide, and I am next of kin. The guests are met, the feast is set, mayst hear the merry din. He holds him with his skinny hand. There was a ship, quoth he. Hold off, unhand me. Greybeard loon. Eftsoons his hand drop he. Oh, actually, I think that was supposed to be the. I haven't read this enough to know like who's talking when. So I think that should have been in the nasal accent. Hold off! Unhand me, greybeard loon. Eftsoons his hand dropped he. He holds him with his glittering eye. Oh wait, actually no, that's a third party. Okay, sorry. Let's go back to the beginning. The first line of this. It is an ancient mariner, and he stoppeth one of three. So that the one of three that he stops is not the same guy who's the narrator. Also, Brian Mackle rolling in and tipping 10. Let's go. That is going to get us 6 away from the next face camera expansion. So thank you, Brian Mackle. Okay. So, our inventory is now full. Okay, so we need a third voice. We have the narrator, we have the old man, and we have the guy the old man stops. So, let's drop some blocks here. Drop them like they're blocks. Drop them like they're blocks. Do. Drop them like they're blocks. Okay. So. Hold off! Unhand me, greybeard loon. Eftsoons his hand dropped he. He holds him with his glittering eye. The wedding guest stood still, and listens like a 3 years child. The mariner hath his will. The wedding guest sat on a stone. He cannot choose but hear, and thus spake on that ancient man, the bright-eyed mariner. The ship was cheered, the harbor cleared. Merrily did we drop, below the kirk, below the hill, below the lighthouse top. The sun came up upon the left, out of the sea came he, and he shone bright, and on the right went down into the sea. Higher and higher every day, till over the mast at noon, the wedding guest here beat his breast, for he heard the loud bassoon. The bride hath paced into the hall, red as a rose is she. Nodding their heads before her goes the merry minstrelsy. And now the storm blast came, and he was tyrannous and strong. He struck with o'ertaken wings, and chased south along. With sloping masts and dipping prow, as who pursued with yell and blow, still treads the shadow of his foe, and forward bends his head. The ship drove fast, loud roared the blast, and southward, aye, we fled. And now there came both mist and snow, and it grew wondrous cold, and ice mast high came floating by, as green as emerald. And through the drifts the snowy cliffs did send a dismal sheen, nor shapes of men nor beasts we ken, the ice was all between. The ice was here, the ice was there, the ice was all around. It cracked and growled and roared and howled, with noises in a swound. At length did cross an albatross. Through the fog it came, as if it had been a Christian soul. We hailed it in God's name. It ate the food it ne'er had eat, and round it flew. The ice did split with a thunder fit. The helmsman steered us through. And a good south wind sprung up behind. The albatross did follow, and every day, for food or play, came to the mariner's hallo. In mist or cloud, on mast or shroud, it perched for vespers 9, whiles all the night through fog smoke white glimmered the white moonshine. God save thee, ancient mariner, From the fiends that plague thee thus, why look'st thou so? With my crossbow I shot the albatross. Okay, so I think that I was supposed to do that in the Ancient Mariner's voice there. So let me just drop back a second. God save thee, Ancient Mariner, from the fiends that plague thee thus. Why look'st thou so? Oh, so... Oh, no. That's actually... So it looks like it actually switched to the Ancient Mariner from the narrator's voice like 8 stanzas ago. It just wasn't clear. And thus spoke on that ancient man, the bright-eyed mariner. There should have been a quote in here. There wasn't an opening quote. So then this should be the wedding guest saying, God save thee, ancient mariner, from the fiends that plague thee thus. Why lookest thou so? And then, with my crossbow I shot the albatross. Okay, see, yeah, so this is the thing, is, yeah. So that was, so yeah. This is the rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. We are just, hey, Artisy tipped 26 and writes, for all you do. Thank you, Artisy. That's going to get us 2 face camera expansion milestones. Here we go. Expand Joe. Do. Does this look any better? Actually, I'm realizing, though, I had lowered the resolution of the camera. So it's actually not even anywhere near full. So let's go ahead and bring that back up. Okay, so there we go. So we are now at the most obnoxious face camera expansion milestone, the Tony Stark helmet cam. But don't worry, we won't be for long since Artisy covered 2 face camera expansion milestones. So here we go. Expand Jost. Do. Lower. Oh, that's not quite big enough. We need the Tony Stark. No, we did the Tony Stark helmet cam. We need the T. Joe Eckelsberg. There we go. Lowering the Joe opacity to 50%. Perfect. Thank you, Artisy. That puts us 20 even away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Sean says, this is like when you get distracted and need to read the page over and over again. Oops, that's the album link. That's not the tip link. Okay, hold on. Yeah, so the thing is, we're going into... I was going into Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner completely blind. The last time I read that was in 2007, probably. No, 2003, when I was a junior in high school. So, yeah. It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally here. Wait, you know, let's go to the, you know, like I said, Saturday is a night for poems and songs. What's the name of that song? So it's called Star Trek Enterprise theme. It's Faith of the Heart. Faith of the Heart lyrics. Okay. Here we go. It's been a long road getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally near. And I can feel the change in the wind right now. Nothing's in my way. And they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna hold me down. 'Cause I've got faith of the heart. I'm going where my heart will take me. I've got faith to believe I can do anything. I've got strength of the soul. And no one's ever gonna bend or break me. I can reach any star. I've got faith. I've got faith. Faith of the heart. There's a lot more lyrics here, but I don't think they're played at the beginning of Star Trek Enterprise. So we're not going to read all of those. Boom. Please add this VOD to the Dracula playlist. No. This is just gonna go in the Minecraft playlist. Like all the other Saturdays that we didn't have Dracula. Polaris Northstar says, it's okay, Joe. I just read Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner last year, and I don't remember anything but a dead albatross. Well, we got that. We got that. We got the crossbow and the albatross. Get Etho to play that with song blocks on the pinball machine. That's how you get a copyright strike. Etho's music blocks are how you get copyright strikes. Just mining, mining, mining. Keep those blocks of mining. Everybody's mining Minecraft. Do-do-do, 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 do-do-do. Do-do, do-do-do, do-do. Have I been a victim of an anvil lately? If so, you may have grounds for a lawsuit. Have you contemplated how you're a particularly easy target for Doc's new anvil dropping game? I'm not sure that's true. I'm mostly working in the shadow of the back box right now. So, like, okay, if somebody, like, basically you couldn't, like, set up at build height and attack me if I'm working underneath this thing. And when I'm working down here, I'm under the glass. So that really limits their ability, like, to set up without me noticing. You may be entitled to financial compensation. $40 blocks is fatal. Yeah, but the thing is, you want to... Ideally, you want to set up high enough that they don't see you setting up. Like, if they set up at build height there, it'd be hard for me to see them. Right. I think the camera's a little off-center. Yeah, it might be. Sorry about that. Still getting used to this new setup. Doc is only doing it 40 blocks up. He's trying to be fair. Gotcha. Well, I mean, I guess somebody... The thing is, it would be hard for somebody to set up 40 blocks up in here without me noticing them, is I guess kind of how I'm looking at it. But also, the part of the mural that I'm working on the side of the machine right now is there's not 40 blocks of clearance. You'd have to poke a hole in the machine. Which, I mean, I guess he could do, but it would be kind of annoying. Oh no, I hope you're, I hope you got that taken care of, Boorango. Yeah, dropping sharp things is never great. The falling blade has no handle. Is how they used to put it. Yeah, we might need to go to the ender, clear this up a little bit. Because, like, now I've got both pickaxes kind of dying. Okay. Yeah, this one definitely doesn't last. I did want to get some silk-touched blocks, though, while we're here. Okay, let's go ahead and fly back up here real quick. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Only at night. I thought Doc was only after Canadians. Yeah. Well, I went to Niagara Falls recently. That's near Canada, so you know I could keep a lookout. Colt says, "Why can we see your face?" Oh, because I am in HermitCraft. Yeah, you're watching HermitCraft through the eyes of the original new guy. I was invited to join HermitCraft 5 weeks into Season 1. I was the first person invited to join the server who was not a founding member, making me the original new guy. So, welcome. I hope you enjoy the experience. Don't worry, though. The camera will get larger as more people tip. We are currently 20 even away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. So, okay. Let's go ahead, actually, and we can also put our green screen up. We don't need to hold on to that right now. That'll free up an inventory slot. That'll free up an inventory slot. Oh, wait. Let's consolidate those ores as well. I thought I'd gotten all of those already, but clearly not. Whoa, that was actually coal. We definitely wanted to consolidate that. There was a copper there. Consolidation. Ren had just returned from Canada. Ah, see, there is a link. There is a link. Also, let's real quick see if there's any, yeah, here's some more random coal blocks here. We can use these to repair both of our picks and make progress on our star mural, galaxy mural, whatever. Deep field image. Deep field, woohoo, dun 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 dun. Really, is there not more coal over here? I thought there was, but maybe we got it all. Okay, yeah, I am having to move my neck a little bit more to read the chats the way this is set up. Oh, wait. What if I move... Hold on. This is one of those ideas that's so stupid, it might be genius. Okay, so if we move the chats there to the top half of the tall monitor, then that's a little better. I still have to move my head some, but yeah, that's not as bad as like having to look down. I'll still have to look down when tips roll in, but that is like definitely a more occasional event, so that'll be better for my neck on the whole. Oh, the soup group is actually registered in Canada as a corporation, so that's why Impulse got hit. That makes sense. Okay. So, I would have thought it was registered in Delaware, but because Impulse is American, but apparently Gem took the lead on that. Okay, got it. What am I building? I am building a colossal scale pinball machine, 256 blocks deep, 128 blocks wide. It rises out of the sea. We have drained the ocean here, and I'm in the process of removing the blocks. It is called Deep Field because it is themed after space telescopes, and I've been working on a deep field mural based on images that came back from the James Webb Space Telescope here. I'm pretty happy with how this is coming out. Let me land somewhere that you can see it better, though. So yeah, this is what I'm working on, is my pinball machine. I've got to say, it really it looks so much better in the higher resolution. Like I can just admire the galaxies better. Like it's obvious to me just playing that higher resolution is going to make this pixel art look just night and day improvement. Like, but yeah. Let's fly back this way. Okay. Clock Eyes says it looks very close to the JWST pictures. Thanks! This side here has taken me like 24 hours so far. The front took me 4 hours. And the front has a huge cutout for the coin door and the shooter rod plate. So, yeah. Colt says, sorry, not caught up on vids. No worries. I'm happy to show it off occasionally. I just, you know, I can't go there every time somebody asks, but it's been a little bit since I showed it off. So for the folks just joining the stream, besides you, it's good to give them a taste of what we're actually working on. Because, like, it kind of looks like, wow, Joe, you're just digging out random stone, huh? Real exciting. But, like, no, we're working on a giant pinball machine. There's going to be an electric course inside and on like inside the machine. It's going to be wild when it's done, but it's nowhere near done. This is a long-term project. Yeah, the Joe Pasty right now is 50%, and we are $20 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Have a good night, Quill. Have a good night, Stephanie, as well. Lay your head down and dream. Whoops. I fell. Didn't intend to fall. Let's fix that. Luckily, I've got the jump boost. Dang it. Fell again. Oh, that's the new channel that I just dug. Clock Eyes says, seems like this season every Hermit chose a long-term project. Well, that was because last season we cut short, or we started last season. We didn't cut it short. We started last season knowing that it was going to be less than a year long. And so we all said, okay, we're going to do a short season, and then we'll do an extra long season. So everybody think of projects that you can do in a short time, and then also be brainstorming stuff you can do that'll take way longer. And so we all brainstormed big projects for this season. Brandon says, I don't think anyone's safe from Anvil Wars. It's the new hot guy. That might be true, Brandon. That might be true. Yeah, the ores take longer to punch through, sadly, than even with the... Just gathering all these blocks, making sure we store them for projects in the future. Oops. Once the pick wears down a little bit more, we'll go ahead and retire that. Go to the ender and clean that up. Am I going to participate with Towers of Sand? I don't understand the joke, Kingu. At least inside the machine, my head is covered. Yeah, that's the thing, is they would have to set up in a very visible place when I'm working inside the machine. Bucket says, is this season going to go till April? Basically, if this season... okay, this season is definitely going to go through the summer. At the end of the summer, we're going to decide... We know we want to have a really strong September, October, November, December. So basically, we're going to come back to this in, like, September and say, do we want to restart the server before Christmas or after Christmas? Because if we're going to restart it before Christmas, we have to restart it far enough in advance of Christmas that we can... Like, nobody wants to launch the season right at Christmas time, because then it's going to cut into our family time, right? Same thing for Thanksgiving with the American Hermits. Halloween, a lot of people have kids, you know. Basically, if we're going to restart the season, if we're going to start season 10, we're either going to do it a month before Halloween or after Christmas, right? We don't want to, we're not going to try and restart it in that holiday minefield that is the last quarter of the year. It's kind of the thought. So basically the season's going to go for another 9 to 12 months probably, or roughly. Okay, so let's go ahead and consolidate these, consolidate those. Now, we always reserve the right to change our minds. If something wild happens with World Gen, where it's like, oh my gosh, we have to revisit this, we'll revisit it, but we just had a big conversation about this, and everybody's on board with just, let's keep it going. We all started huge projects, and we want to see them through. Does that mean we get another April Fool's and Easter egg event? Yeah, Jevin definitely wants to do another Easter egg event. That was a ton of fun. Yeah, so definitely, we're going to definitely do another Easter thing. I'm assuming we're going to do another April Fool's, but I haven't heard anybody volunteer for that. Because that was Grian's thing, and Grian doesn't always like repeating himself. He wants to do new stuff. So he might say, hey, does anybody else want to do that this year and put your own spin on it? But, like, it was such a great formula. I don't know how much spin you could really put on it, but I'm sure we'll do something for April Fool's. We haven't figured it out. But that was one of my favorite pranks of the entire, like, time I've been on HermitCraft, was doing that Swedish Rickroll of Iskall with help from Corrales and Vintage Beef. That was so fun. And so yeah, we'll figure that out. We just haven't figured it out already. That's kind of where that is. Okay. So, yeah, the pick is getting a little low. We're going to just use it a little bit more. Because, like, I mean, honestly, it's got unbreaking on it. We can get it down to the red at least before we go fix it. Yeah. Like I said, I would be very happy to see Grian run Secret Fools again. But I could also see him handing that off to somebody else to put their own spin on it, because he likes to always push himself to do new stuff. And, like, the problem with Secret Fools is it's already so perfect. I don't know that there's going to be an obvious way to improve it for him to, like... Yep. Mumbo posted on YouTube about himself coming back. I have been sitting on that for a little while, so I was very glad he made that public. Because when y'all are like, when's Mumbo coming back? You know, I can't just sit here and, like, smile and wink. I feel like, guys, I don't know, man. Check Mumbo's Twitter. So finally he posted on YouTube about his plan to come back. So I'm very excited about that. Chloe the Great and Powerful says, that Rickroll was incredible. I watched it multiple times and laughed every time. I think that was actually the first video of yours I watched. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that you enjoyed that, Chloe. It's been fantastic having you as part of the community. I didn't realize that you had joined so recently, but yeah, you're always fantastic. And that's the thing, is like, yeah, it's I'm not running my business motivated by growth. I do need to be aware, though, that, like, as I push myself to do better art, more people are going to see it. Like, if I'm more creative, like, the community's naturally going to have some growth, and I need to be prepared to make sure that everything is ready to scale up in terms of moderation and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's funny how, like, one good video can bring in people that, like, now... It's like I take for granted that Chloe's here. Sorry, Chloe, for taking you for granted, but, like, yeah, like you've just been a fantastic part of this community for what feels like so long, and you know, like, who knows what the next video that I put out that has that level of resonance will be. it's not going to, every video isn't going to be like that, but, you know, this is part of the 4K thing too, is like when people search on YouTube for something like Minecraft, they can, like, I think they can filter it. At some point, YouTube used to have a search option for this, and maybe if it doesn't exist now, it might exist again later, where you can say, like, I only want to see HD videos, or I only want to see 4K videos, right? So, you know, when we talk about, like, what's the value of putting the videos in 4K, there might be people who literally are searching for exactly what I'm making all the time, like JWST in Minecraft, but they've got their filter set to only see high-res stuff. You know, like, oh, I don't want to see JWST at 1080p. It'll look like garbage on my monitor, you know? So, like, I'm hoping that by doing stuff in a way that's more visually appealing, like, my work will get in front of more people and be appreciated. Because it's a, like, I put 24 hours, like I said, roughly into this panel over here so far, and it looks so much better in 1440p than it did in 1080. And it would look even better in 4K. And this is going to be my base this whole season. We're gonna have some incredible art in the translate up here too. We're gonna have playfield art. This whole thing is going to be just gorgeous if I do it right. But if I do it right, I'd like to show it off too, you know? So. Amanda says that's also around the time I started watching. Beef introduced me to a lot of hermits. Yeah, that was fun working with Beef on that to trap Iskall. He never saw it coming. Because Beef wasn't even in the April Fool's thing. Like, that was part of the brilliance there. Percy, I'm glad that you found this community too. Yeah, I'm glad to offer folks a place to hang out. Okay, let's go ahead and wander down. Lost Cult Music says, this is my first full season watching HermitCraft, and Secret Fools basically introduced me to everybody I didn't already know. Yeah, it was a great opportunity for folks to get to see all of us. Clock Eyes says 1080p is a great resolution. Am I too poor to understand? Well, I mean, here's the thing though, is like when I started doing YouTube 10 years ago, nothing needed to be in 1080p. I was doing my stuff in 240, 360p. But 1080p monitors got cheaper and cheaper over time, and eventually everybody had them. Not everybody, but like they got more and more popular, right? And people started like only looking for YouTube stuff that was at higher resolution. There was like an HD only search option, right? And so if your stuff wasn't, the other thing was also the higher quality your video was in the first place, the YouTube algorithm would weight how they showed it, right? So if I uploaded a really funny video at 360p today, YouTube would not recommend it to people, right? So like, as 4K monitors get more popular, or even 5K monitors, like, I mean, I have a 5K monitor iMac from like 2015 that I bought when my former employer went out of business. I had spec'd the thing out for one of my coworkers, and when the company folded, they sold it to me cheap. And a lot of people were like, wait, would you recommend everybody who streams gets a 5K iMac? I'm like, no, because there's no way you'd get it this cheap. But if you can get one this cheap, you'd be stupid not to take it, right? So, like, I mean, I've had a 5K monitor since the first 5K iMac in 2015. And they're going to be more popular over time. Like, the iPhones now, the iPads, all sorts of tablets and phones are high resolution. So people are going to be looking for that stuff at higher resolution. And if I'm not looking for ways to be ready for that, that's kind of disrespectful, in my opinion, to y'all the folks here who support the show and send money my way. Like, yeah, some of that I'm going to use for food. I'm going to use that for rent. I'm going to use that for health insurance. I'm going to use it for travel. But I need to be reinvesting some of that into technology and improving the stream and the YouTube videos so it looks good on their TVs. You know? I don't want somebody who's been here for years and loves watching my show on their TV. One day their TV breaks, they get a new one, higher resolution, looks nice. They put my show on and it looks like garbage, you know? Like, if they're like, you know, I've been giving Joe money on Patreon for 5 years, and now I got this new TV and it looks terrible. Where's all that money been going? You know, I should be making sure that I'm future-proofing the stream, right? Danny W says, oh, my stream is on 1440p. I didn't even realize. Yeah, this is the first night we're doing 1440p. I reset up the studio and did a bunch of testing the last couple days. And we're looking at moving forward to 4K. But yeah, so it's one of those things like, no, not everybody needs higher than 1080p. And a lot of people will be happy at 1080p indefinitely. But, you know, that doesn't mean that I should stand still, you know? Especially because YouTube will let folks always downgrade the 4K or the 1440p to 1080p. So it's not like I'm leaving anybody in the dust either. If I was, I'd have a lot more concerns about it. Lost Cult Music says, HermitCraft videos are often family viewing events on the living room TV. Well, and here's the other thing, too, is I would love to start doing, once, not this year, but like in the next 3 years or so, here's one of my visions for what is the future HermitCraft look like. Excuse me. And honestly, if it wasn't for the pandemic, like, I was planning stuff like this 3 years ago, and I put it on hold. Like, for example, let's say that we did a Halloween... Let's say that me and a few hermits all did Halloween specials, right? And then we rent the Belcourt Theater in Nashville, and we say, hey, we're going to do a showing of 3 of our Halloween specials, like me and Wells, Knight, and Jevin. Or, you know, people like Cub could drive down, Hypno could drive up, right? We get 3 to 5 hermits. We show, you know, 3 episodes, so that's like 60 minutes roughly. We do a Q&A, and we do a signing, right? And if I'm recording at 1080p, putting this on a movie projector, like a 4K to 8K digital projector, isn't gonna cut it, right? And that... Now, for something like that, I'd probably want to record it off camera, not as part of a stream anyway. And so the technical requirements for recording at 4K are a little bit lower there, because I wouldn't be streaming the production process. But that's where I want to get to, right? This is a way to do, like, I'm looking at this as a technological opportunity to connect to the community, right? Eclog says, is that a real goal people are floating around? That's a real goal that like I said, I was working on this 3 years ago. The pandemic put this on pause. When we did our signing in Nashville during Minecon, we had hundreds of people show up to get stuff signed at a park when it was 96 degrees Fahrenheit out. We rent an air-conditioned theater, and we do a signing. You know, we're gonna be okay. So, like, especially at that point, like, renting the Belcourt Theater on a weekend is expensive. It would probably cost, let's say, $2 to $3 grand for an afternoon rental like that. But it's like 300 seats in the theater. So if we charged $15-$20. If we charged $15 a head, we could break even on the rental. If we charged a little bit more, we could cover hotel rooms and maybe even flights, getting people from further out. If we charged $25 a head, we could possibly even have at least one international hermit afford to fly in, right? Maybe not. I don't know if the numbers work out on that. But I'd have to double check. But, like, anyway, my point is, like, goals like that, though, don't work if we don't have the technology to record high-resolution footage, right? So yeah, like, okay, even if you have a 1080p screen at home, if there's ever a chance that you'd want to come see us in a theater, you're going to want it to look good. If you paid $30, let's say, like, because that would be the most I'd probably feel comfortable charging. Although with inflation, by the time we do this, who knows, we might have to go higher. But, like, if we charged you $30 to come see us for a signing and a viewing, you'd probably want it to not look like garbage. You'd be like, I paid $30 to get in here, and this looks like it was shot on a potato camera, right? Nobody's going to want that. Nobody's going to... Like, it's an insult to y'all if we're not staying ahead of this stuff. And that's the number one thing I don't want to do. Y'all have, like... Okay, the folks who, like, financially support the stream are supporting me directly with their money. But even just those of y'all who show up and watch every day, you are giving me your time. Every time I stream that you pop in, you are giving your time and attention to me. And I want to respect and demonstrate appreciation for that. And then this is one of the ways that I can do that. Reinvesting in technology that's going to make your experience better. Even if you don't necessarily see it now. I think it's going to pay off. And you know what? If I try and fail at that sort of thing sometimes, maybe it doesn't benefit everybody as much as I would think. You know what? If I'm going to fail at something, I'd like to fail at trying to demonstrate respect for people, because then it's just an honest mistake, right? Like, if I'm just, like, blowing it off like, whatever, I don't need to impress anybody. I'm just, like, for the most part, I'm making my art for myself, but that's no excuse to insult y'all, right? That's no excuse. Like, there's a difference between being an artist who makes the art you want to see in the world and being self-absorbed, right? Being disrespectful to others and their time. And I don't want to do that. Y'all are too good to me for me to do that. Well, that's only 300 seats is one of the reasons we don't necessarily want to fly Mumbo in for this. Or Grian. Because honestly, like, Wells Knight, Cub fan, Jevin and I, we're not the biggest name hermits, but I think those 300 seats would sell. And so we might pilot this with local people who could drive here, right? And then rent something bigger if we were going to have, like, Grian or Mumbo or Doc or somebody fly in, right? That's the idea. We've talked about all sorts of stuff. We really want to find ways to let y'all know you're appreciated. And one of the best ways to do that is in-person events. That's like, especially for the kids out there who don't get to stay up late and watch the streams. Like, I'm sure that there are parents here who watch my videos with their kids, but the streams are after the kids' bedtimes. Y'all are just, watching the streams by yourself, right? So you might feel like you have more of a, and you legitimately would if you're active in the chat, you have more of a connection or relationship with me on some level than somebody who just watches on YouTube, because that's completely one way. So, so yeah, like, I get it. Yeah, some people might not see the reason to go to 4K if you're not going to be able to afford a 4K TV anytime soon. I don't have a 4K TV. I have high resolution monitors for my work because I need it for video production. But my actual television, well, for a while, we just put my iPad that my employer bought me as a Christmas gift on the shelf. and the iPad was our TV. And then one of my friends got tired of me not having Mario Kart, and was like, "If I buy you a TV, will you get a Wii U so we could play Mario Kart together?" Because he moved far away and was like really annoyed. He couldn't spend time with us anymore. And I was like, well, okay, you just got a new high-paying job. You want to drop a few $100s on a TV for me? I can drop a few $100s on a Wii U. Fine, deal. But like, so I didn't even buy my TV, and it was like it's not bad. I'm not complaining about getting a free TV, but like, I wouldn't have bought a television otherwise necessarily, at least not anytime soon. So. So yeah, I get it. People who don't have a 4K TV, I am right there with you. Realistically, like, I'm going to use that 1080p TV as long as I can. I like it. It's the right size for the room. Any place I get. Like, one day when I buy a home, there's no way that any place I buy will be, like, larger than the apartments I live in. Not that, like, I live in huge apartments, but, like, realistically, real estate is so expensive here in Nashville that, like, yeah, it's going to be a downscale when I buy a home. So it's not like, oh, time to get a big TV now that I own a house. It's like, boy, can I fit the TV I have? Which is not even that big. We don't have a living room anymore. We have a living closet, but at least it's ours. Okay, so we're going to lay our heads down and dream here. Nashville is stupid expensive eklogs. But with all of the... Like, this is where my friends live. This is a cultural hub for multiple states. Like, the opportunities my daughter has living here vastly exceed where they would be otherwise. Also, we need to live somewhere with a major airport because of the custody agreement. Basically, unless we move to where her mom lives, which is its own problem because it would be financially prohibitive for me in a lot of ways to do that. Like, basically, if we're gonna live outside of driving range to her mother, we have to live somewhere with a major airport that has direct flights to where her mother lives, and where her mother lives doesn't have a lot of direct flights, and so it's like a whole thing. I mean, I could take it to court, and maybe we could justify moving somewhere else, but I would end up spending so much money in court. It's just not worth it. Like basically, we're here. We're gonna be here for a while. Eklog says, I live in the second or third most expensive city in the country. I wasn't expecting it to be that high. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's stupidly expensive. It is very expensive here in Nashville. Yeah, no, Carl says, I think 300 seats would sell out instantly. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. The biggest thing right now is that we don't want to risk it right now because there's still a lot of, like, respiratory viruses, people getting sick. Like, it's too early to feel like we could plan something like this safely. But it's going to be safer soon. But yeah, so anyway, the idea is we'll pilot, the idea that I'm moving forward with is I'll try to pilot something like this at the Bell Court in Nashville, because it's a great theater, like, it's a great organization, a great nonprofit. I have no problem supporting a nonprofit like that with that rental money. Like, here's the thing, is, like, even if the thing was a complete bust somehow, and they kept the money, you know what? Honestly, if I was out of pocket $2,000 to the Bell Court, and it wasn't going to bankrupt me, I would just be like, you know what? I've gotten more than $2,000 of value out of their being in the community over the last 20 years or so I've lived here. 18 years I've lived here. Like, that sucks, but whatever. I can walk away from it, and, you know, like it's that kind of place. It's a ludicrously good organization. Now, in theory, that shouldn't happen, but, like, I don't want the first time we do this to be with people I don't know, that I don't trust, and that, like, if something went wrong, I'd be like, oh gosh, I'm angry. Okay. Hatch Print Shop custom posters would be a cool... Ooh, I do love Hatch Show Print. That's... Salem, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's another variable, though. So, like, the thing is, like, the first time we do this, we're probably going to want to keep this as simple as possible. But that's not a bad idea. I'm just not sure that I just don't want to commit to that for attempt 1. Attempt 1 is straight up minimum viable product. But for round 2, yeah. That is too good of an idea not to follow up on. Yeah, and that's the thing, though, is having something, like, the way to do those posters would be to include them in the ticket price, right? So maybe if instead of a $30 ticket, it was a $40 ticket, but everybody gets a poster to get signed on top of anything else you bring to get signed. So if somebody's like, oh, I've got my Cub fan t-shirt, can you sign it, Cub? He'd sign it, right? Yeah, they do a minimum order of 100, yeah. So that's the thing, though, is I wouldn't want to buy them and then sell them on site as an add-on. I don't want to do on-site add-ons. I'd want to do it as just straight up, hey, with your ticket, you get a poster that we will sign in front of you, right? That way, everybody comes in with something to get signed. Nobody's like, oh, I didn't bring anything. I should have brought something. I just wanted to say hello if I didn't think of something, right? Well, that would be a good souvenir. That would be a real Nashville thing, because Hatch Show Print is an institution here. That's a really good idea. Coyote Lovely says, realizing I might be an aberration, I live in a fairly expensive area, but $40 including signing sounds cheap. It does for you, but what if you got 3 kids, right? So it's you and your 3 kids, and it's $160. Like, that's, you know, we would want whatever we did to be accessible to families as much as possible, right? So that's one of the reasons that, like, okay, like, we'd have to figure out how much to post. Maybe Gusty Gale says maybe kids get in free. You can't do that. Because the thing is, there's a fire code. It's a theater, right? So you have to sell tickets for something like this because of the fire code. And But yeah, I've been when the Riff Tracks folks did their recordings at the Belcourt, like the crowd control was a whole thing. Coyote Lovely says, just saying, most of the cons I go to charge $25 minimum for a signing, to say nothing of cost of entry or anything else. Yeah, that's true, but, you know, this isn't, we're not offering a whole convention, you know? We're offering a few videos on screen. What we might even just run the videos, we'll start the signing right away, do the videos, and basically say, hey, row 1, come up to get your stuff signed while we're showing the video. Row 2, come on up. Row 3, you know, just cycle through the rows during the screening. I don't even know. You could do a family bulk deal option. The thing is, if we're trying to charge as little as possible to just, like, cover the cost of the theater, we can't give away any more seats because then we're already... Like, the goal would be to price this to break even. And if we start giving different tiers of ticket costs, like kids seats are cheaper than adult seats, then we don't know what the ratio is going to be, we might not break even. You know what I mean? Like, Coyote Lovely says, that's super fair. I just want you to know your worth to your fans. No, I appreciate that. And, like, you know, if we did other stuff later on that was more complex, we might have to charge more. And I'm not saying we would never charge more, but I'm just saying for, like, a proof of concept thing like this. Ecklog says, in my opinion, your goal should not be to break even. Well, I don't know. It seems like a lot of the folks who... Like, we make a lot of money off tips anyway, right? So, Ecklogs, if we set a fair price for this event, and somebody goes to it and comes home and says, wow, I would have paid more money for that, they undercharged us. If somebody came back from that event at the Belcourt, was like, that was my first time in Nashville, I had a great trip, you could have charged me $500 and I would have paid it, and I was only out $40. Wow. I'd say, well, you know, tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. I don't expect you to drop $500. I know that was probably hyperbole, but, you know, if you wanted to throw a little bit extra my way, you know, I'm not going to complain. And because, you know, like, I'd rather let folks choose to throw more money in later if they want than price families out. You know? So it's not, like I said, this isn't a solved problem, and we'd have to do a lot more thinking before we did it. Welcome, Lizzie Mack. But this is part of, like I said, this is a really long-term thing. But like when y'all are like, what's this push to do 4K video? That's part of the push to do 4K video, is being able to show it on movie theater screens. Being able to rent a theater and do a signing for y'all is one of the things that we've been wanting to do. For those of y'all just coming in who didn't hear me introduce the topic earlier, I saw other people say, Bass Symphonies, what are we discussing? We're talking about how I'm streaming in 1440p for the first time this evening, other than a test stream earlier today, and I'm hoping to get set up for 4K in the long term, partially so that we can do signings at movie theaters for, like, let's say the Hermits did a Halloween special, you know, and me and a few Hermits who live within driving distance did a signing, and we showed the special on the screen at the theater, right? Like, with recording at 1080p, it might look okay on people's 4K monitors at home, even though 4K recording would look better. But, like, once you get to movie theater size, big projectors and stuff, it would be more respectful of the audience if we actually had stuff recorded at 4K. So, I mean, a lot of these projectors now are up to 8K. I'm not chasing that. But anyway, so yeah, anybody just coming in, Lizzie Mack just came in, Bass Symphonies just came in, anybody just coming in who was curious what we're on about, that's what we're on about. Lizzie Max says, is this something I can notice with the untrained eye? Probably. Well, for one thing, you have to have a 1440p or better monitor or TV. But the other thing is you're not going to notice it when I'm mining. Where you're really going to see it is, like, if I duck out of the way here and show, like, the galaxies. Right. Stuff like this is going to look significantly better at higher resolutions. So, that's kind of what we're looking at. Okay. Lizzie says, wow, those galaxies are incredible. I hadn't seen that yet. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Yeah, eclogues, I mean, honestly, if this ends up being one of those things where we sell out in 5 minutes and, you know, we should have charged more, next time we'll do a better job at figuring out supply and demand and pricing and stuff. Or we'll add more stops, right? What if okay, so we rent a theater in Nashville, and then we rent a theater in Ohio, or one in Illinois, right? So, you know, doing these, as long as we can cover people's travel expenses, because, like, I mean, if I skipped a stream, I would be losing revenue, right? So we have to cover people's travel expenses, cover people's time, cover the cost of the rental. But, I mean, like I said, a 300-person theater, let's say we went up to $40 a person. What does that come out to? That's still something, you know? 300 times 40 is $12,000. Wait, is that right? 40 times 300 is $12,000. Okay, so that would cover... So $40 a head for a 300-person theater would cover the several $1,000 theater rental. Like I said, I think that's around $2K, but it might be 3 or 4. That would cover the prints from Hatch Show Print. That would cover hotel rooms, gas, people skipping their streams. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like we need to ask for more than 40 for 3 hermits at that point, right? Yeah, we're talking about doing this in Nashville as a test because there's a really good theater where they record the Rift Tracks videos or the Rift Tracks streams or whatever. Those are all done at the Belcourt in Nashville. I've attended a few of their tapings. And I might be... The biggest thing I'm worried about here is that the last time I looked at this, the theater was maybe cheaper than it would be in the future. So don't hold me to this pricing, because part of that is dependent on that estimate about the theater, which is now several years out of date, being correct still. But, yeah. Salem says, the immediate wait, is that right? Maybe store. Okay, I'm too tired for math. But yeah, I'm excited about the opportunities that streaming and recording at higher resolution will create. And this is just one example of that. That's, in some ways, the most fun one to talk about, but yeah. Amanda says, would you consider doing a pre-sale for Patreon supporters? I would have to talk to whatever other hermits were involved with that. Let's say, like I said, I've been using Jev and Cub, hypothetically. This is not something that anybody's signed on to or anything. But, like, they're just, like, geographically nearby. Wells is geographically nearby. Right? So, if we had 3 hermits and 300 seats, I could say something like, okay, each of us is going to get 50 tickets to pre-sale to our Patreon patrons or something. And then the other 150 will all go on sale on a certain day or whatever. You know. But if the other hermits were like, well, I don't really feel right about that. Because like, one of the things about the hermits is we all have very strong senses of fairness. This is something that actually, now that I'm saying this out loud, okay, let's sanity check me here. Sanity check me on this. I think that all of the hermits have very strong senses of fairness. And now those are manifested in different ways. We might not agree on what's fair, but we all have kind of gut instincts for what is and isn't fair and will stand up for it. Is that a sane argument to make? I've never made this argument before. I've never thought this through. This isn't something we talk about or make decisions around, but like, as I'm considering this, the biggest thing is, if any of the other hermits that were at the event were like, I wouldn't feel right giving patrons a first shot at this. A lot of people are saying, that sounds true, that sounds right. That's one of the best qualities you guys have. Sounds correct. Eclog says, I can't think of any individual hermit I would say that doesn't apply to. Alpacatastic says that seems reasonable. Yeah, okay. So, anyway, my point is, if any of the hermits that were considering doing this said, I'd feel better if we gave everybody the same opportunity to sign up for tickets, that might just be how it is. So I'm not going to promise I would Patreon presale anything, because it makes a lot of sense to do a Patreon presale, but, if one of the other hermits felt otherwise, I would respect that. I would rather that they showed up at the event than getting my way on that argument. But I can't think of any hermit in particular who would object to it. So it's not like I'm like, oh, well, this hermit definitely would not be okay with a Patreon presale. But, like, just as I'm thinking through it, that's the only reason I could think of not to do one. But it's a plausible reason, so I wouldn't want to promise one or have y'all expecting, like, oh, I better join Joe's Patreon right away in case that happens, because that would, I can't back that up, right? The idea hadn't been thrown around. We hadn't gotten too far on this when the pandemic hit. So this is like, and like I said, this has been backburnered for years. Tappers Valentine has a question about the video we'd show at the theater. Would it be something like Joe Hill's The Movie, or more like a regular HermitCraft episode? Well, like the example that I've given before is like a Halloween special, where it's like, oh, hey, we're gonna, like some sort of holiday special, so we could say, hey, leading up to Halloween, bring your kids down to Nashville and watch some HermitCraft Halloween specials. And, we might even show old stuff if it was recorded at high enough resolutions. Realistically, though, our old Halloween stuff is all 720 or 1080p and wouldn't look good on those projector screens. So it'd probably be something newly recorded, maybe debuting. Ideally, I'd want whatever episodes we put up to be like, here's our episodes that's dropping today. We're dropping these episodes right now, because otherwise people in the audience would be watching other episodes of HermitCraft on their phones. They'd be like, ooh, look, Tango just dropped a new one. Danny W says, if it did sell out in pre-sale only, that would feel unfair for all the others outside it. Well, that's why I was saying we'd probably take half the tickets for pre-sale, and then half of them would go up at the rest. Because there was like a problem with the Taylor Swift pre-sale where they couldn't do a normal sale because they sold out in the pre-sale, and people were upset. And like, yeah. Not that we're going to have Taylor Swift problems. Eclog says a sneak peek of a video that would be coming out in a week would be worth paying for. Well, I wouldn't want it to necessarily come out super long after, because they might want to talk to their friends about it, and then their friends are like, no spoilers, right? So if the video goes live while we're in the theater, right, that kind of, they get to watch they get to see the world premiere of that episode, right? But then they can be live tweeting the episode while other people are watching it too. Alan Tips 20 says, here's to no commercial breaks to disrupt the good vibes and good times. So thank you very much, Alan. That's going to get us evenly to our next face camera expansion milestone. Here we go. It's time to expand. Just do. Lowering the Joe Pasty now to 42%. Alrighty. So we should probably go put some of these torches away. Okay. Torches, la 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 la, torches. And let's see which of these are empty. That one's basically empty. Okay, so I think we can split this up between these. Not that one, though. But like that one and this. Oh, no, not that one. 12. Okay, we did it. So we got 3 empty shulker boxes now. We can go fill in down here. So, anyway, this is the sort of stuff. This is why I'm investing in the tech. Because it creates opportunities we wouldn't have otherwise. So, I'm very excited about that. Yeah, so the thing is, though, people are going to be waiting in line for the signing. For, like, when we did the last signing, it took a long time. So we would probably even start the signing. We would show the episodes while people, like, we would be lined up in the front, like, below the screen or whatever. And we would have, like, an usher come up row by row and bring people. So, like, the last event we did, the signing in Nashville, I had 5 people working security, handing out water bottles and collecting trash. And I say security, but they were mostly just keeping the line in order, walking up and down, handing out water bottles. Because I've got a few trays of water bottles and a bunch of tubs of ice to keep them in. And then I had them walking around with trash bags and water bottles to make, because it was 96 degrees out Fahrenheit. It was so hot. I was like, I don't want people passing out. But, like, I mean, everybody was chill. But, yeah, so, you know, I'd pay some local folks I know to help out as ushers, basically saying, hey, this line, or, you know, this row, please get up and approach the hermits for your signing, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Because there would be some talking, like, we'd be talking to them or whatever during the show, and so that's kind of weird. So it's not exactly a classic movie theater experience if we're talking in the front, but, like, it's kind of boring standing there and just waiting. So maybe we would do like one or two new episodes in a, like, full movie theater mode, and then we would show some older stuff, classics, best ofs, montages or something during the signing. I don't know. We'd have to figure it out. Camera's a little off again. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I've got the new setup here, so I'm not used to where everything is. Season premiere would be hard to do because we're not good at coordinating when the new season's actually going to launch. The start recording day for a new season can get moved 20 times. So I would not want to do this anywhere near a new season launch. Finish it up with the Guppy Geyser. Yeah, here's 60 minutes of the Guppy Geyser, y'all. I actually did record that in 4K. That's because I used Replay Mod to render that out in 4K in post-production. That's like one of the only full 4K long-form videos on my channel, now that you mention it. Yeah, we could just throw the Guppy Geyser up there. Enjoy, everybody. Salem says, I would pay so much money to see the Guppy Geyser in the theater. The thing is, if somebody brought their 3-year-old, I don't want them coming in and crying at the fish dying. Am I excited about the new armor trims? I think there's potential there, but I wouldn't say I get excited about it. I don't know. I'm just not a very excitable person. I'm not coming in here and gonna pretend to be like, whoa! New armor trims, they increase my hype level! I have never experienced such excitement! I cannot contain my joy at the idea of augmenting netherite armor with redstone or gold or emerald or diamond trim. Lapis Lazuli is another fantastic opportunity. Like I can't do that. That's not me, buddy. Sorry. I'm sorry, buddy. That's not me. It's not me. Somebody else. Would 3-year-olds understand Minecraft enough to know that the fish were dying? Probably. They're flopping around taking damage. I think it's pretty obvious to a small child that the fish are... What's happening to the fish, Mommy? Oh, they're dying. Like, this is... We don't need that. We don't need that. If a parent is... Like, some of these parents, like, for our last signing, some of these parents drove their kids, like, 8 hours to come see us. Right? So... We just don't... I don't want to ruin somebody's trip just so I can make a joke. Clam Meditation says, I have all the excitement that Joe lacks. Yeah, see, Clam Meditation's excited. Personal Zombie says, I'm excited for more steps to getting netherite. Are there more steps to getting netherite? I didn't see that part. Slightly more tedious in the snapshot. How is it more tedious? Like, what's the mechanical difference? What's the change? You gotta find templates from pigs. Is that just to make the armor, or to make the trim? Trim and netherite armor both require a template. I mean, I am wearing netherite now, but, like... Honestly, I was happy wearing chainmail. It showed my skin better. People are like... The number one thing I want from armor modifications is more holes in the armor. You know, I worked hard to put this @ symbol on the Steve skin. Let's show it off. Yeah, if they want me to walk around with, like, a Superman style, like, netherite, briefs or whatever, so I can show more of my Minecraft skin's legs, that's fine. I would do that. Okay. I mean, that's the number one reason I haven't bothered updating the rest of my skin, is that you can't see any of it. Oh, boy. Have a good night, Rhiannon Dorm. We have actually made a lot more progress today than I was expecting. And how are we doing on coal? That's not the right one. That's getting close. I was saying if we got 2 stacks, that would hold us over. And that's almost 2 stacks. I bet once we get the fortune pick and use it on the silk touched coal, that's gonna be a lot more. We can do that now, actually. Oh, no, gravel goes in the good box. Okay. So yeah, let's go hit the coal ore with the fortune pick. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, less visually obstructive armor just seems like a no-brainer to me. Joe's a Superman fan and wears Superman briefs, says Danny W. Hence why the camera is always chest up. I'm actually wearing some ludicrously nice sweatpants that were a gift from my betrothed last Christmas. I have, like, I never really liked sweatpants very much. Or, like, I mean, they were fine, but, like, I was always just like, I don't know why people like these so, like, it's just like they're okay, but I don't get why people like them so much. It's like that I got these really nice ones as a gift, and I'm like, oh, apparently the Kmart sweatpants that I had as a kid, and then the Walmart ones I got later in college just were not made of very good materials or comfortable. Like, it turns out you can have sweatpants that aren't like miserable wool. Who knew? Who knew? It's just like, I'm just used to so many things being terrible all the time because I never had... This is why I didn't, like, drink in college, because the only beer around was just the absolute worst tasting, cheapest beer. There's just all these things in life that I was just like, I don't understand the appeal. Like, I get that some people are really excited about this or whatever, but, like, I guess it's just not for me. You know, that's how life is sometimes. Not everything's going to be for you, and I've made peace with that. But then sometimes it's just like, oh no, it turns out if you actually spend money on this, it's okay. It's just that the cheap version's miserable. Yeah, Eklog says, so when Mojang drops the really nice armor trim, that's when you'll be all about it. Yeah, that's the thing, is I'm like, netherite armor. Take it or leave it. Right now. But then it's like, oh, okay. I see the appeal now. Yeah. I've definitely gone to buy as little clothing as possible, but when you do buy, like, from better manufacturers, like, there's a quality difference. And I don't know, it's one of those things, like, since when I was a kid we never had money, being frugal was always the same as being cheap because that was the only way to survive. But, like, now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, there are certain things, like certain types of tools and certain types of equipment and certain types of clothes and shoes. It's like, if you don't spend the money now, it's going to wear out immediately and you're going to spend, or it's going to be terrible or not worth it. Like, the cheap version isn't worth what it costs because it's so much worse than the more expensive version. And that took me a while to kind of get my head around. Centauratron says glass armor when? Oh my gosh, I would wear glass armor in the game. If they made a thing where you could mix diamond armor with glass and called it crystal armor or something, that would be amazing. Yeah, Centauratron posted that in the Discord chat. We've got 3 chats going on, Light Chow. Discord, Twitch, and YouTube. Coyote Lovely says, I am a lady of expensive taste, drinking very nice bourbon tonight. Oh, well, that sounds fantastic. I hope you enjoy. Gusty Gale says, historically, glass weapons and tools are a real thing. I don't know about glass armor, though, Gusty Gale. I don't know about glass armor. Uh-oh. Blocks in here. Yeah, that's going to be a whole thing for later. We'll come back with sponges for that. Okay. Amethyst shards would be really cool. Yeah, if there was like a translucent dyeable armor, if you could dye amethyst shards for translucent armor, that would be amazing. Yeah, call it like glass silk or something. Probably wouldn't be very comfortable, but in Minecraft, yeah. Ask Nessie says, I used to make fun of $20 socks until I started wearing them. Yeah, socks is definitely something where I was buying like a big pack of the cheap ones and they were like wearing out. And one of the things that really frustrated me was when I would buy a pack of cheap socks, I was like, okay, well, this is good because it's like a 20 pack. So that's 10 pairs of socks that should be identical. So then I don't have to worry about matching them. And then it turned out that the manufacturer didn't have any quality control. Half of them were like slightly different from each other anyway. Like they weren't exactly the same sizes as each other in a pack of 20, or they weren't like some of them, or like they would have like an accent that would be slightly colored differently on some of the pairs, just because it's no consist. And so I was just like, I'm wasting all this time trying to match socks that are almost identical but not quite. Like, this is worse. How do you not see how this is worse? Yeah. So I am, as those have been wearing out, the last 20 pack I bought, I've got maybe 2 or 3 pairs left that haven't completely, like, I was wearing holes in them because I walk a lot. I'm a very active person. And so I wear holes in socks quickly, or at least I thought I did. It turns out they were just cheap socks too. Like, it's like, oh, I bought some nicer wool socks for like backpacking type socks, and wearing those walking around town. I try to walk a few miles a day when the weather allows, and it's like it's a huge difference in just how the wear and tear is on them. Like, I don't know. It's like I've got enough things to be stressed out about. But yeah, that's one of those things that, like, yeah, I'm slowly transitioning a lot of things over in my wardrobe to being like slightly nicer, and then replacing them far less often. I mean, Eklogs in this context, I'll allow it. But yeah. I appreciate that you understand I don't love people talking about brands in here. Granted, I'm not... Yeah, keep in mind, I'm not, like, coming in and promoting certain brands right now either, because, like, they're not paying... If I could get a deal with some of the ethical clothing manufacturers, I would absolutely be fine promoting their brand here, but, like, they're not gonna pay me, realistically. They're like, we get by on just doing the right thing. Shouldn't you promote us just because we're doing the right thing? And it's like, I'd like to, but I don't know if I can afford it. Yeah, that brand doesn't exist anymore, so whatever. That's one of the reasons I gave you a slide on that, Eklogs. Do we need to torch the flat open area? Not really. I mean, it's not like stuff can climb up onto the midpoint here. Start making trouble for me. So, Krypton RL Gaming says, first time at the stream and the close-up is next level. Oh, well, have you been... If you haven't seen the stream, since my last HermitCraft episode, I made a ton of progress on the pinball machine. Let me show you. I'm going to duck out of the way here so you can see it. This is actually also my first stream in 1440p, so I'm enjoying being able to showcase this at high res, high definition. But yeah, the way the camera works around here is when people tip and we hit certain milestones, the camera gets bigger. And tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat if anybody would like to demonstrate that for Krypton RL Gaming. So anyway... We are going to wander back to bed. Do 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 do. Na 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 na. Alrighty. Have a good night, Iconic Anemone. Lay your head down and dream. Krypton Gaming says, whoa, that looks so good. Thank you. Yeah, I spent about 24 hours on that over the course of the last week, and then I spent probably about 10 hours over the course of the last couple days working on the stream quality, rearranging my studio, moving monitors, rewiring stuff so that I could try streaming at a higher resolution. And so we are experimenting with 1440p today, and we tried 4K earlier, and that first experiment failed, but we're going to try a second experiment tomorrow using Restream.io's built-in transcoding. I'm very optimistic about that. So we're going to try streaming in 4K on YouTube tomorrow for the Groundhog Day stream. That's at 2 p.m. U.S. Central Time. It's a parade float build contest. Patreon patrons from my Patreon server will be building Groundhog Day themed parade floats. Coyote Lovely tips 10 and says, thank you for the lovely company tonight. Thank you very much, Coyote Lovely. That puts us 10 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Glad to be here, hanging out with y'all. I'm having a great evening. It's so nice to just chill and hit some blocks with pics occasionally. I've been working so hard on that pixel art. This has been just a great breather for me. Getting stuff done. We're actually about to max out our shulkers, which is pretty wild. We had so many shulkers and we're running out again. So I'm gonna have to move a lot of this stuff to double chests. Okay. Okay, let me check on something real quick. DTT. Bum 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 bum. Okay, cool. All set. And whoa, we just got a tip rolling in from Eklogs for 100 even. Thank you, Eklogs, who says, I enjoy the streams, Joe. Thanks for doing them. Well, let's see. So we were 10 away from the next face camera expansion milestone, but like, let's see. I guess that's 5 of those right there. Boom. Here we're 10 away from the next one after that. So here we go. Expand. Oh no, I moved it out of frame. Uh-oh. OBS gets difficult to wrangle once it reaches a certain size. There it is. Okay, I got the grab handle. Expand Jost. Do. Lowering the Joe pasty now to brr, a frigid 32%. Numero dos. Expand Jost. Dee. And then once we get my eyeball back in here, we are going to lower the Joe pasty now to 24%. Thank you, Eklogs, for both of those two. Out of these 5 expansions, uno, dos, tres. It's time to expand my ghostly face. Da. And where is it? Somewhere in here I have an eyeball. I believe in me. There it is. Lowering the Joe pasty now to 20%. 1, 2, 3, 4. How about we expand some more? Joe Hills. Thanking Eklogs. Do. And we are going to drag that back into frame here so I can find my eyeball. There it is. You can see me blinking, especially when I put that on. It's like, where's the eyeball? Search for eyeball. Found it. Lowering the Joe pasty now to 16%. Each knee, san, shi, go. Expand Jost. Do. And then let's go ahead and drag that back into frame. Somewhere out there is a single Joe Hill's eye. Lowering the Joe pasty now to 12%. There we go. Thank you once more to Eklogs for that fantastic support. Okay. So now when I do look over at the YouTube, I am going to be more out of frame. Sorry about that. But we're making it work. Okay. First time we've done these expansions at 1440p with the chats on the other thing. Da-da-da-da. Okay, so let's reshape some of these into more blocks. Oh, wow, that's not disturbingly slow. Okay, on the sound cue. Okay, get the copper in there. Yeah, those sound cues are not great. Don't know why that's quite so slow. Whoa, there is some crazy sound delay in Minecraft here. Whoa. That was like 7 seconds. I have never seen that before. Is that the server? Okay, if I go to the menu and I click something. The menu is client side. Wow, that is not an OBS desync. That is a Minecraft desync. Minecraft sound has it sounds normal. You don't hear the delay? Whoa, that's extra weird. What would possibly cause that? Okay, hold on. Is the box overheating? The audio interface? No, it's cool to the touch. I mean, okay. I'm okay. I was able to break 6 of those blocks before I heard the first one break. So hold on. Let's see if this is all audio or only in-game audio. If I start the beginning of the Groundhog Day theme in celebration of us doing the Groundhog Day thing tomorrow, how long until I hear it?
Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hero.
It took like 3 seconds. I clicked stop and it kept going another 2 seconds. Oh, that's so weird. No, there's no way this is brain lag. There's no way this is brain lag. This is... I mean, we have been streaming for 3 hours. So if the box was going to start getting some sort of heat-related issues, knowing that it's got a 3-hour limit is helpful. I don't think it's OBS because... Okay, wait. Okay, I'm going to look at the meter in OBS. When I click on this, does the meter immediately show it? The meter immediately showed it, but I only heard it now. Oh, that is so weird. Whoa. This is literally, I have been streaming since 2008, and I have never seen this. I have never seen this. This is... Okay. Well, that's weird. The audio is going to the wrong... Okay, hold on. No, it's still delayed. Is there... Okay, let me... I'm going to pull up the app for the audio interface. I have no idea. The video is not... Have I tried? Okay, Gusty Gale, that's actually... You're just putting words in here. It only happened after the face camera expansion. Okay, let's try deactivating. We're going to deactivate the face camera temporarily. No difference. Still, it's several seconds. That's the weird thing too, is it's not like it slowly drifted. It just all of a sudden jumped to several seconds lag. So I closed it. I'm waiting. Now I heard the close sound. No, Eclogs, this is not your fault. This is a genuinely interesting problem. This is the weirdest thing I've run into. Now this is only day 2 with this audio interface. And so like I said, maybe it just, when it heats up after, because we've been going for 3 hours on the stream, maybe it just does this. Oh, boy. Okay. I'm going to try something bold here. I'm gonna mute everything and so that you guys don't get your ears blown out. And I'm gonna write on the screen that I'm muting it, so that way, muting on purpose. That maybe isn't clearly a U. Okay, so muting on purpose. I'm going to try shutting off the audio interface and turning it back on. Okay, well, maybe I unmuted that too soon. Okay, so the 48 volt is back on. It's instant. It was instant that time when I opened the chest. Okay, so it's definitely something with the audio interface. Running it for 3 hours, something went wrong. Now, is that going to happen every time we stream for 3 hours? We don't stream for 3 hours very often. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, but that is the weirdest thing. I've literally never seen that before. I did not unmute too soon. You didn't hear a loud pop? Okay, awesome. Because I heard a loud pop, and I was like, oh, no. Okay. That's so weird. Now it's instant. It's instant again. What's crazy is it went from absolutely 0 delay straight to, like, 6 seconds of delay. And 6 seconds of delay is a lot of delay. It's a lot of delay. Oh, boy. That's so weird. And the fact that y'all weren't getting it because of where OBS is in the stack, it must have been somewhere, like, straight up in the hardware somewhere in the hardware between the USB output of the computer into the interface and my headphone jack. Something was adding 6 seconds of delay. Wow. That's something. That is... I'm not even mad, I'm just impressed. Like, I don't... That's a new one. That's a new one. Oh, boy. Firmware bug, maybe. Yeah, I'll look and see if there's any software patches for this thing. But like I said, it might just be running it for 3 hours straight. It just something overflowed somewhere. Cub fan raiders! Welcome, Cub, raiding with a party of 329. You're actually coming in on my first night streaming at 1440p. That's progressive scans. So if I duck out of the way here, you can even see my galaxies looking better than ever on my deep field pinball machine. I am going to fly back over here and maybe try and land somewhere so you can see them a bit better. Although I don't want to keep ducking out of the way. People tip good money so that my eye can eat the whole screen here. If you've never seen a Joe Hill stream before, the camera gets bigger when we hit certain tipping milestones. And we are currently $10 away from the next face camera expansion. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. But yeah, welcome Cub Raiders. I am working on my Mega Base this season, which is a colossal scale pinball machine all the way up to build height based on space telescopes. The cabinet itself is based on measurements I took on a spooky pinball total nuclear annihilation machine. But the cabinet art, the translite, the playfield, I'm designing all that from scratch. I say from scratch. I'm using a James Webb Space Telescope image for the, skin there. Now, you might ask, Joe, why build this 256 blocks deep, 128 blocks wide? It's so that I can make Minecraft maps of the playfield when I am done. And it's a whole thing. A lot of people ask, Joe, how are you going to make the inside work? Can you move a pinball at, like, Minecraft speeds to make it look real? No, the only thing that moves that fast in Minecraft, as fast as a pinball coming off the flipper, about 95 miles an hour, that's going to be a player. So this ultimately, right now, we are actually, like, that's where the plunger would be on a pinball machine. We're going to have an electric course that starts in the shooter lane here and navigates the playfield, which I have yet to add the, all the details to the playfield. But basically, there's going to be an electric course where you fly around the playfield like a pinball before eventually turning and going down the drain. And there's a trough where balls go in a real pinball machine that you will fly out of as part of a continuation of the electric course, and then get to see the underside of all the components, as well as, like, the subwoofer is going to go here, the on switch will go here, there's a power supply that connects to there. All of these components are going to be all set up in here. Part of that process, though, is digging this out. And so on Saturday nights, what I am doing right now is I do a reading, I do some plays, some songs, some poems. We spent 27 weeks reading Dracula, which we finished last week, while we work on this project. So y'all are coming in just as we finished our last big reading, and I'm not going to start a new novel right away because kind of good to take a breather. So let's see, poetry-wise, we read a bit of, well, I guess we read the entire first part of Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner earlier, and I sang Faith of the Heart, the opening theme to Star Trek Enterprise. So, yeah, if you're into weird stuff, you're in the right place. If you need to go to bed, though, my theme song is Lay Your Head Down and Dream for a reason. I appreciate you stopping by. If you want to follow and come back another day a little earlier, I normally stream starting around 8:30 U.S. Central Time, most nights except for Tuesday and Wednesday. So I stream, Thursday through Monday, 8:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. And I'm streaming the mornings at 8:30 a.m. U.S. Central Time on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays now for sure. I try to cram in a few other bonus streams like HHH and whatnot too. But yeah. So welcome Cub Raiders. I hope you are ready for kind of a chill Saturday evening of mining out stuff and reading stuff. I hope you had a fun time helping Cub be his personal best at those races as well. Oh yeah, I realize I've got the followers only 10 minutes on. I'm going to set that to 0 for right now since we got a raid coming in. I'm the only moderator tonight, so it's easier for me to keep an eye on stuff if it's harder for the drive-by spam bots. Okay. Daniel J. McGrail says, I made Faith of the Heart by Joe Hills. Miles Destruct says, Cub stream was fun. Awesome, Miles. I'm glad you had a pleasant evening there. And I appreciate you stopping by to continue it with me. Even if only briefly before you're off to bed. Flannel says, that's why no Raiders were talking. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. It's just the sort of thing where 90% of the time having that set to 10 minutes is just better. And then I don't think of it when I need to change it. Okay. So basically, if you mine out a layer like 2 blocks high underneath here, then you can just look straight up with your pickaxe later. Oh, you just started work, not off to bed yet? Oh, awesome. Well, thanks for sticking around, Miles. Also, some of you may notice that I'm occasionally talking to people that you don't see in the Twitch chat. I've got 3 chats running, one for Discord for my Patreon patrons, one for YouTube viewers, because I'm simultaneously streaming to YouTube, and one for Twitch viewers, which you already knew about if you came in from Twitch's, or Cub fans' Twitch stream. It's not Twitch's Cub stream, it's Cub's Twitch stream. Cub is the true owner of Twitch. Okay. Alrighty, have a great night, Laurel. Lay your head down and dream. The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how'd it get so late? Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and dream. Just let your mind float downstream. Sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. That's my opening theme song. Y'all missed the opening, so I figured I'd give you a quick rendition of it. Because I start my show so late at night, people would come in and be like, I feel bad, I have to leave and get to bed for work in the morning. I was like, you shouldn't feel bad. Here's a whole song about going to bed. Go to bed. Do your work. You can watch the VOD later. The YouTube episodes will cover the high points. Country Skiing says, hi, I love your work. Well, thank you, Country Skiing. Yeah, the face camera gets bigger and slightly more transparent with tips. Ah, your Colt on YouTube. Awesome. Well, thank you for stopping by on Twitch. Over on Twitch, we got Jobo, and welcome, Jobo. Danny W says, will the playfield have scallion bumpers to bump the players around? That might be fun to try, but I don't know if at the speeds that you're going on an Elytra, they would actually kick in, you know? Okay, let's actually take these ender pearls and go put those where they belong. Because we've got like a whole box for ender pearls up here. Are you going to show the raiders the side? You know, just in case any of them had ads. I don't know how long the ad break is when you raid a stream. Just in case any of them had ads. Here's the side of the pinball machine. Woo! This is why we're streaming at 1440p. I worked so hard on this. I wanted to be able to show it off at high resolution. Okay. So. Oh boy, it's already 11:50. It's a weekend. So I don't want to I don't have to get my kid up for school in the morning. We don't have anywhere to be in the morning. So I need to make the call though of either getting some more caffeine or wrapping up. We just got this big raid rolling in. And I'm not particularly tired. We're making good progress. And I want to do some more readings. I had fun with Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. I had fun singing a little bit. But we got so busy talking about ideas for basically HermitCraft movie night, or whatever you would want to call it, that we kind of got sidetracked on actual like poetry readings and stuff. So why don't let's go ahead and AFK over here by the portal for the hydration break. Okay. So let's turn that off actually. Let's just put up the hydration break sign, and I'm gonna turn off the camera real quick. Let's see who we need to thank for this hydration break. Here's a song from... Oh, we haven't played Lectern Full Cauldron, which was requested by Unlimited Creativity this month. Or if we did, I forgot to mark it. I'm pretty sure we did play it, but I probably forgot to mark it. But either way, if it wasn't marked, it wasn't done. So we're going to go ahead and play a song that I wrote from our album Sean Hills Sings Joe Hills Volume 1, I think, called Lectern Full Cauldron. And I'll be back in 3.5 minutes.
I want a girl who can sort a chest. I want a girl with shears that cut and swords that burn through zombie flesh. I want a girl who knows world generation, who crafts furrows and times her attack. She's modding her community. She's flying through the air. She's smelting out impurities and feeding her cat. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron. I want a girl who logs in early. I want a girl who plays till late. I want a girl with unobstructed creativity who uses a tripwire to ruin your day. With shulker boxes organized and lustrous in a tone that will torch you like desert grass. Who crafts furrows and times her attack. She's smelting out impurities and feeding her cat. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron. Whose shield is emblazoned. I want a girl with good enchantments. On some server we will meet incidentally. We'll start to talk as we shoot skeletons. She wants a spawn with biome convenience. She wants a spawn that's in good repair. She's changing her end from wither to dragon. She's trading her archery for a trident that's self-repairing. I want a girl with a lectern and a full cauldron.
Welcome back, everyone, from that hydration break. Thank you again to Ryan, aka Unlimited Creativity, who requested that song. You know, I was trying to think what poem I should read next, or what song maybe, and I realized with the Cub fan raid coming in, one thing that we'd never got on an album, because it was just, we ran into a bunch of weird technical issues, is a song called Where in These Chunks is Cub Fan of the Convex, a parody of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. And since I need to go fix my pickaxes anyway while we hang out at the spider farm, maybe I should go ahead and give that a quick song, a quick sing. Just doing it live. Server restarts in 5 minutes. Oh no, I forgot. That's one of the reasons I stopped streaming so late. But we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Okay, so let's swap that in here. And let's give these spiders a chance to spawn while I pull up this song. The lyrics to this song are available here, joehills.net/ then hyphenated, like where in these chunks is Cub fan of the convex. Okay, here we go. Where in these chunks is Cub fan of the convex? Well, he builds around the aisle from modern to medieval. He's a sticky piston pusher from build height down to bedrock. He'll take you on a flight to the convex cathedral. Tell me where in these chunks is Cub fan of the convex? Swipe your soul sand from the nether, make the village golems bubble from our redstone degree and tag. He'll be dealing abuse. I never tend to see him steal from his base to the portal. Tell me where in these chunks is Cub fan of the convex? Tell me where in these chunks is Cub fan of the convex? He'll go from village to void space, from the end to Iskall space, from Mumbo to Tango, Text Fountain, and back. Then he'll ban half HermitCrafters, run a gauntlet jewel encrusted. Then he'll have the convex plunder and go prank Python's pots. He put the mail in malefaction when he tampered with my postbox. Tell me where in these chunks is Cub fan of the convex? Tell me where in these chunks? Tell me where can he be? From mob spawner to far lands, from spawn via pirate land tundra to jungle to I trade to loot you. Well, he swims beneath the seas just to sell immoral coral. He's a bubble-breathing brigand with a flair for dolphin speed. His shulker box is loaded up with maps for his mural. Tell me where in these chunks is Cub fan of the convex? Tell me where in these chunks is Cub fan of the convex? Tell me where in these chunks is Cub fan of the convex? HermitCraft! So anyway, that was my parody of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, about our incredible, talented friend, Cub fan. That was back in Season 6, I think, that he was running around as Cub fan of the convex. You notice a lot of dated references there. Python's pots, for example. Selling immoral coral. He set me up for a lot of good rhymes with that. Like, that was... I wrote that literally in one sitting on stream. I don't know if the VOD still exists of that stream, but like we basically sat there for 90 minutes and I was just like, we're going to go through Where in the World. So basically I was trying to stake out Cub. I was trying to record him committing a crime. I was like, he's logged onto the server and he's going to come past here anytime now. And so, like, we're standing there for, like, 15 minutes. I've got, like, a bunker. And I'm looking out the bunker. And I'm like, gosh, where in these chunks is Cub fan of the convex? Or where in the world is Cub fan of the convex? Something like that. And somebody's like, Joe, you could do a Carmen Sandiego song. And I'm like, oh, I could do a Carmen Sandiego song. Alpacatastic says, I've been recently watching Cub Season 6. This is strangely relevant for me. Mahi says, you have 2 Patreon server things tomorrow, so you need to get things done before it. Yeah, I need to make my kid food and stuff in the morning, but, like, I have to wake up way earlier on a school day. Like, our petitions is at 1 p.m. Central Time, whereas school starts at, like, around 8 a.m. I've got 5 extra hours here, and I have to wake up way before school to get everything ready for that, so, compared to... I mean, I guess if I'm making lunch and stuff first. But, like, I mean, I'm going to be okay. Croak says, I thought that was freestyle just now. No. It took 90 minutes to write that. But I wrote it on stream back in Season 6 when we were staking out Cub fan. It was a lot of fun. Okay, honestly, this is probably enough experience to hold me over here. How long until the server restarts, though? Oh, no. Yeah, maybe let's just stay here until the server restart, and then I'll fly back, because I don't want to be flying when the server restarts. Have I read my poem, Go East Nomad? Oh, I wrote a few poems for Cub. I don't know if those ended up online on my... I never posted them to my website. I really should. Because I wrote 3 poems for Cub. Okay. I mean, honestly, even if we only get the netherite pickaxe repaired that much, dang it, that's enough to... Oh yeah, we were going to wait until the server restarts. I'm going to forget this 8 times in the next minute. Okay. Luckily, the server restarts usually like less than 30 seconds. Somebody says, empty the storages, please. You don't want to be opening storage things. If I was opening those storage things while the server restarted, like, you get weird item deletion stuff. So, we're just going to give the server about 30 seconds here. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to quit the, we don't need the, flyby, flying account right now either. Let's see, it should be rebooted. It's not a full reboot, it's just a backup that requires a shutdown. Okay, it's going to take a second. Iris 1.5 has released. Hey, spiders. Suddenly spiders! Okay, so we're going to give the server a second to boot up. Now, did somebody ever put in a... Did somebody ever put in an actual connection for this to the tunnel network? I'm curious. We're so close. Probably isn't worth it, but... Spider farm. Okay. We're in the old nether. Early season nether. Yeah, I don't even know. Oh, there's... Oh, wow. The spider farm is like directly below my tunnel there. So we can just take this the rest of the way, he says, putting the totem in his offhand at the last minute. This was our test mural. I did a test mural of the deep field photograph, just to kind of see like how dense the galaxies actually turned out to be, stuff like that. And also, it, you know, is a little slice of what people can expect when they actually get to my base. So I'm excited about that. I feel like this came out pretty well. So then when people are like coming down the hallway here, just to give you a sense of what that looks like. This was in Cub's second to latest episode. The old nether tunnels feel like being backstage now. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. Okay. Where did I put the other... Oh. I moved the window. Yeah, the Poetry Archives were in the same browser window as the tip links. Or not tip links, the tip alerts. So if any tips roll in via paypal.me/JoeHills or YouTube Super Chat, we are $10 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Almost Yalis, I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well too. Okay. Let's grab more rockets out of here while we're here. Lots of quick XP in your smelting array. Oh, you're not wrong. I like to save that for, like, urgent stuff, though. Like, during a stream like this where the world was about to restart anyway, it doesn't really matter if we're... Oh, yeah, here's the temporary title of the machine. I mean, that's the actual name of it, but, like, I just, like, gave it a look like it was spray-painted on the sides there. Happy with how that turned out. Oh, yeah, there's definitely some mobs spawning down there, so that is going to be a problem. But, like, we're mining out so much of it. 1 of 1 players asleep. Yeah. Well, I guess we can always come back to that side. This side is fully lit, so we don't have that same problem there. Oh, boy. Of course, I was like, let me just throw some rocks in there real quick. Miles Destruct said, this place is coming along so great. Thank you, Miles. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Is this how far down we need to go? I think we can go one more. Oh, we don't have the haste beacon right here. I was like, how come I haven't started on this side? Because there's no beacon. It's not the same. Yeah, okay. But if we fly this way and then fly back, hopefully those mobs will mostly despawn. I don't know why this boat's here either, but I don't care enough to remove it. Ooh, I do need these. We need some coal for our side of our pinball machine. Okay. There's some more coal there. Let's switch that to our offhand so we can maybe fix that a little bit too as we go. Isn't super urgent, but you know. Might as well repair it while we can. Okay. So we were going to fly back there and check and see if the creepers despawned. Hopefully be in our range. Any plans to get into bulk stone sales on the server? I mean, we'll probably end up just using them for terraforming during HHH. So... Okay, Scar's back. Okay, so let's come down here. Yeah, you can see that haste. Real effect, real impact from that haste beacon. Let's make sure this is lit up then. Love that swift sneak. Love it. Does Scar have sponges? Jevin has sponges. The thing is, I don't want to do the sponges as part of everything else. Sponges are kind of just their own, like placing sponges is kind of its own thing. So I want to find as many of those tunnels as I can and mark them first. Like the places where there's underwater tunnels in here, I want to mark them all out and then come in and just knock them out at once with the sponges, right? So we need to do a lot of digging to find where the waterways are. And then we'll worry about removing the waterways as a separate step. Okay, yeah, that dirt up there we'll get later. Never mind, we got it now. Okay. Have a good night, almost, Yalis. Lay your head down and dream. Hey, more coal. That's always nice. That's the number one thing we need to get out of this, is coal for coal blocks. We need to mine this out anyway. And I know there's easier ways to get coal on the server, but this is one of those 2 birds, 1 stone thing. Yeah, we got a lot of nonsense in our inventory now, too. So coal's going right in there. Okay, so let's put the remaining gravel in here. Great. We can go empty that later. Diorite stone. So we've still got these 3 random blocks that we need to deal with. 4 random blocks here, actually, now that I'm looking at it. Okay. So we can go throw these in our garbage to sort box. Have a good night, Nico and Indy. Okay, so there's my fish potions. Okay. Yeah, we'll just dump these here for now. Actually, wait, the wool or the string we can put in the wool box. Spider eyes. Go into overflow here. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I think I'm actually 100% out of empty shulkers. Oh, wait, no. There's 3 empty ones right here. Great. That'll speed things up. Yeah, we'll worry about sorting that into the mob top box later. More importantly, we have 3 empty shulkers now. So we can just keep on chugging along. Okay. Wow, we've been live for 3 hours and 45 minutes. I was like, man, I was feeling really good. Now I'm starting to fade a little bit. Wonder what's up with that. Yeah, we're gonna be hitting the 4-hour mark here. I think let's go ahead and let's agree to wrap up the stream at 12:30 Central Time. That's about 18 minutes from now. A lot of the regulars are already off to bed, and that gives me a chance to kind of wind things down and clean up a little bit down here without feeling rushed. But yeah, I'm definitely starting to feel that behind my eye tiredness. It's like, I guess I can just stream with one eye open. Stream with one eye open. Da-da-da. I can't tell if that's the eye that y'all are looking at or not, because I have OBS covered at the moment. But yeah, just all of a sudden I'm like, oh boy, feeling that. Gripping your pickaxe tight. Exit light. Afternoon delight. Take my hand. We're off to Never Neverland. Okay. So this part right here is actually going to be in shadow even in daytime, so we definitely want to light that up. Yeah, we need to go pick these up off the ground before they all despawn. I mean, we don't need to, but it's polite to not just leave entities hanging around the server. Looks like the sun is setting here on HermitCraft. I searching for water tunnels? Well, the thing is, I need to actually clear out the entire thing. Is the thing bag? So, yeah, like, if finding the water tunnels would be nice, because that is something I'm gonna have to borrow sponges to fix. But realistically, even once I remove the water tunnels, then it's still to mine everything else out. I mean, I guess I could set up like a mini exploder thing in here. Well, like one of Doc M's world eaters and stuff, but I'd really rather just keep going. Boy, this goes down quite a ways. Yeah, this goes all the way down to where our spawner is. It's a lot. But, you know, we're making progress. Like, we have a few actual goals. Like, but, like, the big thing is that if I just do a few hours a week of this every Saturday night, even if we don't have a big HHH, like, this will get done over time. And people be able to see the progress as the season progresses. The seasons change, the storefronts change, everything else stays the same. The wind don't blow, and the grass don't grow. You never leave in Silver Street. Okay. Have a good night, Eclogs. Yeah, we're going to wrap up the stream pretty soon. Like I said, I'm really starting to feel it behind my eye. I know I said I was going to try and go until 12:30, but you know what? Let's maybe just do last call for tips now and start wrapping up, because, like, I don't want to get a bad headache just to be stubborn. That was an estimate. I was like, oh, I'm starting to feel a little tired. And it's like, no, I'm starting to feel it behind my eye. Okay. Yeah. This is escalating quickly. Might be time to get away from the computer. And so, yeah. Final call for tips. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Any chance for a rendition of Closing Time? Closing Time doesn't really have a lot of lyrics. Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights off on every boy and every girl. Hope you find your jackets. Move it to the exits. I hope you have found a friend. Closing time. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Yeah. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. I know who I want to take me home. Take me home. That one? I'm assuming that's the one you were talking about. Uh-oh. Where's the, yeah, there's where we want to actually put these. We could consolidate those further, too. Shaco Lamb says, just heard that song earlier, was watching a hockey game, and it played at the end as the spectators were leaving. Oh, that's fun. Oh. Okay. People are saying, can we get the outro music tonight? Well, I mean, I don't normally play the outro music until I'm like actually ready to stop the stream, and I wanted to give it a few minutes just in case any final tips are being processed. It can take a few minutes for international tips to come in, and I don't want somebody to support the show and then not get thanked. So, since I said final call for tips in a, I need to give it a few minutes. I can't just start the theme immediately and then be like, peace out. All right, that's not cool. That's not a shulker monster. It's like 3 different kinds of blocks. That's basically sorted. It's a chest monster if there's like a million random things. These are all the same. These are all full of cobble, dirt, and see, this is not a chest monster. It's not full of random stuff. It's part of the project. These are chests for the project we're working on. So I'm not gonna worry about it. It's a shulker domesticated animal. This is shulker livestock, not a shulker monster. Let me grab. I need to grab some more chops though from our chops and tots box. That wasn't it. There it is. Okay. Can we drop off another 21 of those? Yeah, perfect. Boom, boom, boom. Do, 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 do. At most, it's a shulker centaur, and centaurs are half-not monster, at least. Oh no, men were the real monsters. Any sufficiently advanced storage system is indistinguishable from a chest monster, yeah. This is actually very portable. The idea is I can load up all those chests and take them to the HHH depot or something. Like, the reason that those are there is to be filled and then moved elsewhere. That's what shulkers are for. Okay. Welcome, Anna Dorn, who says, good morning. We're actually about to call it good night. That company doesn't pay me to say their name. I'm not pronouncing it no matter how they want it. Okay. The question is the centaur half monster because of the human half or the horse half? Because horses aren't the real monsters here. We are. That seems like that needs to go in one of my, like, poorly written fan fiction episodes. Having, like, stress be like, oi! That centaur's half monster because of the... Oh, I can't do it. It's stress monster, like, accent. But, like, I can't imagine anything funnier than stress yelling at somebody because a centaur... Oh, no. Well, we're gonna have to replace that pickaxe. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely getting tired enough. I'm making stupid mistakes. It's fine. It wasn't the netherite one, at least. Okay, yep. Time to play the outro music. Then we'll figure out who we're gonna raid. Gosh.
city is bright, but the stars keep growing dimmer. The dishwasher runs, then you find forks from dinner. Killing lights, charging phones, setting alarms to make their tones. Winding down, closing blinds, the rest for tomorrow when there's time. Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and just let your mind flow downstream. Sprawled out in a moonbeam. Lay your head down and dream. Joe Hills has left the building.
I'm reading Jedi McMuffin, who is playing Rush Pinball. When you get over there, our raid message is howdy, y'all. Joe Hills right here. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do-do-do.